Saturday night.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. We get together to stream all night. Whoa, walking down the street, New York, New Jersey, another dog, Florida. Whoa, what a way to join the street. Saturday night. Scotty beam up, I did. The pavement had the 70s, 90s street. Oh, join the streaming of a circle of Klingons. Oh, let the stream dictate. We talk about everything that has squirrels and for squirrels' sake.
Gravy and state laws.
Just having fun.
We get heated.
So many crimes and a bunch of
Saturday stream with
Dadman and friends. Join the Saturday stream. Squirrel, hello, Mom.
Saturday squirrel fun.
Only way
Join the stream Saturday.
with Dadman. Whoa. Sat night.
Hey, a squirrel or Saturday night with Dad.
Man, come on, dance and join our
Sat night. Hey, a squirrel or Saturday night with Dad.
man. Come on, dance and join us.
Greetings, everybody, to another Saturday night. Hey, well, it's Dadman Walking 55. I've got Alaska Jeff here with me. And man, Jeff, I tell you what, that intro from Anna is something else. She was dancing the last time. I saw you dancing in the background. Really quite
Indeed.
interesting.
You got to get into the mood of the stream there, and it's a good way to get into it.
All very topical between Star Trek to the Florida Gators, go Gators, real Gators, golfers, and porta potties. Really well encompassing. We thank our great friend for that intro, Jeff. I know I talked about that intro so much, but what you really got into? What's your favorite part of that video?
It has to be the squirrel being on the jet skis.
Well, we'll have to definitely tell Anna about that when she is with us again, because I tell you, that's the jet skis, the lightning, the vocals, the porta potties. You know, it's all a good thing, and that's why I love the intros. Is like she did even for our Get Over It show. She encompasses elements of the show with it very well, I think. And again, thank you to her, and maybe she'll show up later tonight. If not, it's like 2:00 over in the morning over there. And hey, anytime she can get with us at that kind of hour, it's a sacrifice. So you're actually the morning shift because you're like 4 hours behind me.
This is one of the earliest times that I will stream. I used to do things at 2 in the afternoon up here, and I just couldn't get anybody to visit for anything. And it's understandable. That's when everyone else is streaming. So when you're competing with tens of thousands of other channels, it's like, well, it's not very beneficial. So I leaned into the late night for me, which would be early morning for everybody on the East Coast.
Right. I tell you what, late night streams have not, they've changed over the last couple of years. It's been crazy. People have, I think it's down. Let me go ahead and bring this guy in real quick. Let me, before I finish, Tom's in the background, but hey, Lemon Pie, welcome. Hello, Citrus. Yes, that was a new intro. It was debuted a couple weeks ago because I've not been able to, we were out of town last week, but yes, that is a new intro our friend Anna's Gameland made for us for Saturday nights. So yeah, that is something we've added since maybe the last time you were here. And hi to you, Lemon Pie. Hello, Citrus. Alaska Jess here. And let's bring in Tom. Tom F. Hey, Tom, how are you tonight?
Gentlemen, how are you?
Greetings there, Tom.
Can you
Just
hear
had
me?
to take my medicine. You're
I can
coming
hear
through
you.
fine. Yep. I just had to quickly take some medicine before I forgot. Otherwise, I'd forget to take it again.
Is that a rum and coke, Dadman? Is that
No,
what you
it's
call
just-
medicine these days?
No, I wish, but no. It was just a pill with a leftover movie Coke Zero. So
A booby?
no movie. Come on, I'm
Oh, I
not
thought you
talking
said
that bad.
booby. I'm like, what the heck?
You got to clean your ears out, Tom. Not your
Dude, I
ears,
have
your
you in
ears.
my ears with little ear pods. It can't get much,
Oh gosh, I know I have trouble enunciating, but not. I didn't think it was that bad.
And I speak Jersey, and I'm kind of scared.
No, yeah, but you got to speak Southern. Anyway, Tom, glad you could join us tonight. How are you? Is Linda doing tonight?
Linda's watching this in the living room on a large screen TV. So, Jeff,
Awesome.
Jeff, you're kind of larger than life right now.
Hey, you should have seen
You're
Jeff.
muted, bro.
Yeah,
Yes, indeed.
he was rocking out to the intro when we played it. So, go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't have anything to add to that.
All right.
Now
you're
you
on
do say that.
a 70-inch
being-
HD.
Yeah, being larger than life, that would actually be like my normal size then.
Oh,
Because I'm a
sort of.
tall fella.
Yeah,
Well,
how tall is tall? Are you over 7 foot?
Yeah, not quite, but you know,
Okay.
getting up there.
Well, you want to hear taller than life, taller than tall? This guy even bought a 7-foot Chewbacca stored at his mother's house. It's the great Mark D with a C. Mark, how are you tonight?
Hey,
What's
how's
up,
it
Mark?
going, everyone? Great to see you. What's
Great
new?
to see you too. Yeah.
Yeah, Chewbacca's packed away till Halloween. I'll bring him out for Halloween.
Oh, dude, you should have a Chewy out all the time just to greet the neighbors. Put them on a Roomba
Mm-hmm.
and watch them
Yeah.
lose their mind.
Or-
yeah, well, I want to stay married.
Well, come on. Tell your wife it's for home security. People,
Yeah.
Robert's trying to look
Actually-
at it. They'll run.
He was
Dude, let me tell
actually
you, Could you
after
picture that?
after Christmas, I left him up at my mom's house for like a month, so he was in the front window kind of. I'm like, if anyone like walked over to the house or looked in to try to break in, they would be like, "Holy shit, there's a bear or someone in there
A bear.
breaking into this place."
Get that with Snortopoopas together. You got some real frontline security. Mark, do you have a picture of that you can pull up and show us?
Oh yeah. Let me.
Yeah.
And there's like
Some
there's a
guy's
video
drunk.
if you
He's trying to
if you
house
search my,
thing to look for his drug fix. Looks to the window, and all of a sudden he sees a Wookiee.
Hey,
Yeah.
my
I
dad.
gotta stop smoking this stuff,
well,
man.
now,
Says to
well,
his buddy.
When we first got married, my dad came over to check the house for us every so often, and we didn't warn him about my wife's life-size mannequin that she used for sewing and putting clothes and stuff on. And he walked in the house, and he saw the shadow in the corner, and he wanted to shoot it, but he realized it was a mannequin.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. You see somebody in your peripheral, so. But I guess it's the four of us, and we got Lemon Pie here. Legatus came in earlier, said hello. I'm sure Legatus will be back as we go live. And now, of course, Lemon
Where's your
Pie is
missus?
here with us.
Where's your missus?
She is a bit tired, and she is actually getting some stuff organized from the camping trip tonight. It's possible she may jump on. I don't know, but once she knew I had some company, she's like, I'm tired tonight, but she could jump on. I
You're
don't
covered,
know.
Yep.
Yeah. But we both went to watch Mario movie earlier, and we both her and I fell asleep during it. At least the
During
early part.
in the movie theater.
Yep,
You fell asleep.
Yep.
Did
At
you
least
like start to snore, and did anyone like wake you up or?
no, because she fell asleep about the same time I did. Well, it was a great movie overall, but early on it really dragged, and it was not much talking. It was just kind of, I don't know, just flying around, and then it was, I don't know how to describe it, but we both went out at about the same time and came back at about the same time. So, and then it ended up a good movie. It's definitely watchable, definitely worth seeing it. If you haven't, I do like the Sonic movies better though. But hey,
You just
Jess
don't
is
like
here.
Italians.
Well, yeah, be sure to tell Sam Wolf that, Yeah.
Or me.
Sam, oh yeah,
Or
yeah, you too.
plumbers, or plumbers. You don't
Yeah.
like plumbers. Yeah.
By the way, Sam, I love Olive Garden. Olive Garden is true Italian, Sam. She was
Oh,
live
God.
earlier tonight, and I just love giving her a hard time.
Oh God, she's
Yeah.
gonna kill you for that one.
My grandmother's gonna get you with a wooden spoon.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
Mine will come back from the grave and do that to him.
oh, I bet. Well, Jess said, I just noticed the wanted sign on the porta potty and thumbnail. Hey, Jess. Yes, exactly. Mrs. Updated. And plus, also, there's a squirrel on top of the porta potty, too. Really, really funny with there. And thank you for putting the Mrs. Link in. I'm at 774 subscribers. I got three last night after the show with Anna, and it's like, hey, and Mrs. at 754. So I
Oh,
am
I'm gonna look.
I'm extending the lead. I am still
Competition.
I am now 20 over her.
So, guys, we need to unsubscribe 20 from him.
No, you need to get 20 more for her. That's what you do. So, of course, Jess always comes through. Tom says hi to Jess. Of course, Jess always comes through with other links. There's for Jeff there, and of course, Mark's links of Dadman fervently emotes there, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm up to 202. I'm amazed
Hey,
at
good.
myself.
Hey, there you go. Yes, I always like uncontrolled chaos. You're right about that. So that's always a good thing. But have any of y'all seen the Mario movie? Or do y'all plan to see the Mario movie?
I haven't seen it
I've
yet.
been planning to see it. I was debating about whether or not to do like a full out review of it because I did it with the first one, and there were some folks that were wanting to hear something similar to that, but still haven't decided whether or not to put in that much effort. But definitely going to see it.
Okay, cool. Hey, when you say review, like a live stream review, or when it's recorded and scripted?
It's so early on, I was doing reviews primarily with another guy named Rolling Chairs, and he and I would go through either films or series. We did this with a lot of the Star Wars stuff, and focused on trying to kind of like calculate a better score than what you would find on Rotten Tomatoes. And the scoring system actually was coming out to be pretty effective. And then giving the reasoning as to why we get to that number. So they're complex. They're maybe a little dry at sometimes, but there's a lot of good dialogue that happens during those things. But I've not done that for a very long time.
And let me say hi real quick to Connie Cleary. Connie's in here. Hello, Connie. How are you tonight?
Hello.
Glad to have you here. So, Mark, you do reviews yourself too, right?
I love doing reviews. Yep. I'm probably not.
Oh, wait. Olive Garden is Italian. Olive Garden, when you hear your family, Sam has the link. Sam has the link, but she's on solo mom duty tonight. So hopefully things work out and she can join us a little bit later. Tell baby Cuteness I said it's time to go bye-bye. Go night-night. Anyway, but Sam, thanks for coming in here tonight. We appreciate it. She actually had a stream earlier tonight with her book club for the month. So make sure you subscribe to Sam's channel too, please. Yeah, she was live earlier tonight. So yeah. Uh-oh. Mutiny with bath time. I'm doing my best. Don't tell them you'll sick Dadman and the unicorn on them. So the older kids, that is.
You know, speaking of unicorn stuff, Dadman.
Yeah.
I was on with Lorena earlier today.
Oh yeah.
You might want to go back and watch that stream because we found a set of Crocs that were right up your alley.
Oh, well, I'll have to do that then. I meant to get by there. I saw it live, but I got busy with life and stuff. And I think tonight she's showing The Last Unicorn as a watch party. Yeah. So,
Retro Nerd Girl, yep.
Yeah,
she's doing that with The Last Unicorn. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and Mark, I think kind of catch up. But how do you like reviews, and how do you do your reviews? Are they usually like? Does it depend on what you do? You do the recorded reviews, or do you usually do like the live reaction?
It's live. Most of the time, it's live because I like having the interaction with the chat. I don't think I've ever done one where I didn't do it, like a pre-recorded. Right. I've always wanted to do like a live out of the theater one, but I feel like a moron if I pick up my phone. I'm self-conscious and start talking like Paulie does it. Not that he looks like, God bless the people that do it. I'm just like, I feel like so out of place. Like if I start doing it, even though that is a kind of a fun thing to do, like, do like an instant reaction. Yep.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of letting it digest a little bit, doing it when you get home, you can think about it and process a little bit.
Yeah, because I remember we went to see Star Trek V with all my Star Trek nerd buddies, and we all kind of like, it was pretty good. It was okay. By the time we drove home in 20 minutes, or like in the parking lot at my apartment, back in the day.
Hmm.
Like, really that really wasn't that good of a movie, and then like we started picking it apart, and
Yep. Yep.
there
Yep.
were good parts to it, but
Well, it's like The Force Awakens. You come out, it was like, oh, great, 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 and then all of a sudden you
oh no,
realize, oh,
I always hated that movie.
oh
It
wow.
was
Well,
tough.
listen, Jess. Yes, baby cuteness got in the middle of Sam's live stream earlier a couple of times. It's yes, but hey, she would be more than welcome. But hey, we'll have to. Yeah, but you can always live stream from the car, like our drive streams. We've done that before and stuff like that. But um, let's see. We're going to touch a little bit about storytelling in a minute. I'm going to have Jeff we're going to kind of do a storytelling light tonight. So it'd be nice to see when Sam gets into and her thoughts too. But Tom, do you do reviews or have you reviewed things? Or I know you do a lot of shuttle rocket launches, but
I do rocket launch stuff, music stuff. I wanted to do some reviews, but there's so much of it out there.
mhm,
My tastes are so weird.
mhm,
People would be like, "What the f is this guy talking about?"
yeah. Well, see,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I
And
think
the
that
reason
that's
I'm not on camera right now
yeah.
is because my eyes are bugging out. So I'm sitting in a dark room, and the camera ain't going to pick up nothing in here but
That's
product
fine.
light.
That's fine, Tom. Whatever he's comfortable with. That's you're here tonight. That's what matters. So, can I tell you what I like with Mark's reviews is that he definitely takes a different. Mark's not afraid to be his old man with making his reviews because some movies that everybody claimed was woke or this, that, and the other, he comes out. He doesn't see it. He's honest with it. I know, like I think it was Shang-Chi is one of the ones that Mark did that he liked, and that was not. He kind of went against the grain, Mark, and like Mark when Mark
Thank you. Yep.
speaks, I think I listen more because one of the dangers we have with our reviews is we get we start parroting everybody else. At least that's my experience, my observations. It's like once the big channels start saying stuff on YouTube or whatever, it's like everybody parrots it. Everybody falls in line, and there's, people are afraid to have their own opinion and spout it. Because Mark will tell you, I defended the Marvels on his channel, and
I
Mark almost
disagreed with that, but I
yeah,
mean, yeah, to
yeah.
each his own, right? I mean,
Your
so
chat almost rebelled, but yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, it is. Jeff, what do you think about with the independence part of this about the mob mentality because it trends on YouTube.
It I think that it has merit. I think there's like everything. People's tastes and opinions are going to impact storytelling so much, or your perception of it, that it's really hard to say if one method is better than the other. One of the things I remember, because you mentioned earlier about the coming out of a theater and kind of just filming on the spot, I kind of wanted to do that after The Force Awakens, and but I never had that ability. I didn't have the equipment for it, and so. But me and some relatives were talking about it because at first we're like, "Hey, that was a great film," and then the more we thought about it, after like 10 minutes, we're like, "Oh my goodness, that thing was awful."
Yeah.
And it just got worse and worse the more we thought about it, the more we talked about it. One of the things that YouTube has offered is the ability to start hashing out ideas separate from Hollywood's influence. And so, up until recently, really, you just had to rely upon the newspapers to tell you if a film was good. You have to rely upon word of mouth, which, depending on your area, may already be influenced by the major networks or whatnot. And so people didn't really have a chance to evaluate the pros and cons of something. And so YouTube has opened that up tremendously. Unfortunately, when you do that, then you get so many diverse tastes to the point of where there's no consensus anymore. So I am a little disappointed about that. But at the same time, I think it was necessary with how much media has changed.
Right.
Well, everyone has a voice now. Think of it with YouTube. We have a voice, and maybe we don't have a gazillion people watching, but we've got a good group here, and then you influence like the whole YouTube sphere. It influences people, and not look at the Critical Drinker, how much trouble he got Andy Weir into. And they were just having some good natured fun, talking about pop culture and the media, and then he mentioned Kurtzman Trek, and kind of dissed it, but which is not a surprise, right?
Hmm.
And then he basically kind of said you better apologize, and yeah, but I mean, and then they were trying to tear down the drinker, but he has what, almost 2 million subs or 2.5 million.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, you think of some network TV shows now,
Hmm.
if they get a million people watching, that's pretty good. I mean, but his videos get he's an outlier, but he's in terms of success. But some of his videos
No.
have over 5 million people watching,
Yeah.
which is more than watch Starfleet Academy.
But see, I also have been told that he actually came out criticizing an actress based on her appearance and stuff like this for one of his current roles, which leads me to the issue. Something I was going to think about was like Brie Larson. She's the voice of Rosalina in the new Mario movie, and when it first happened, people lost their stuff over because of all the stuff she had said at the past and the before, and they were harping in that they gone woke or they done this and that. But it's like she had a beautiful voice; she fit right in with the movie and as an actress. So trying to
Well, her press
criticize.
junket, sorry to interrupt, but she changed her whole attitude, and she was very pro fan, very friendly, and
Right.
yeah. I never agree with someone picking on someone because of the way they look, or I'm pretty dimensionally challenged myself, but yeah, I don't like that stuff.
Talk about tall guys. I was going to say that about earlier. I had to
Yeah,
look up to
but-
you when we met.
But I mean, just the reach that people. I mean, Drinker is in the industry and stuff. But I'm just saying, people can have an influence. Like, look at Mr. Beast, and not from out of nowhere, you can have a voice. I mean, yeah, you could have a viral video that goes crazy one day if you do a review on something. Who knows? But years ago, yeah, you could write a letter to the editor. Maybe you could write an article to like a fan magazine or something, and maybe it would get published. But you couldn't have. Thousands. I'm almost going to hit 1 million views on my videos, which is insane.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
like 2,000 away from 1 million views, which is nuts. I mean, so
Well, I want something to go viral one day because I mean I got the one where Jeff did the play-by-play with my unicorn in Fortnite, and it was the best play-by-play ever. And some network needs to hire Jeff to be a play-by-play guy. So, but hey, Legatus is back. Hey, Legatus, good to see you tonight.
Hello.
Yeah, Olympic Pie
The
saying hi to you.
viral thing. All you got to do is go on a cruise. You'll get a viral.
Oh yeah. I don't need that kind of viral.
You
I
can
mean,
hang out
came
porta
back
potties.
and-
Just saying.
no, I
My
could
wife
go
came
streaking
back
down the
from-
road though.
Oh, you're going to get viral with the wrong type of thing there.
Yeah, exactly. And what were you going to say,
Well, I
Mark?
was
Real
gonna say
quick?
she came back. She went to Nashville with her girlfriends for the week, and she came back all sick. And it's like I was on the plane. It's like I should have worn my mask on the plane or whatever. But like getting sick on the plane, whenever you go on the airport, typical like going or coming, you pick because you're with a gazillion people, you pick something up.
Yes, exactly. Well, I'm going to
was
quote
laughing.
Lemon Pie again. Hi, fruitcakes on the panel and chat alike, because I got the fruitcake of all fruitcakes coming in. This person's going to add some dimensions and some class, and definitely about Italian food and storytelling herself into this panel. It's the one, the
I'm
only,
out.
the great Sam Wolf. Sam,
I'm a
hello.
fruitcake.
I'm out. See you later.
Yeah,
You called her a
sure.
fruitcake. I don't want to be around
I'm
for
a
that.
fruitcake.
Well,
Damn.
no, we love fruitcakes
As
around
long
here.
as it's panettone, okay?
There's what? You're using Italian again? I don't
Nice
know those
accent.
big words.
I like the accent.
Salve.
Oh, she's got it. I mean, I go Olive Garden, Mark.
You don't got it, Dadman, do you?
No, I don't got. Do I have any accent? No, I got Foster's Australian for beer, where people think it's more
Oh,
Scottish than.
You got the Redneck Riviera accent from Jacksonville.
There you go.
Yeah, buonasera, everyone.
Good
Buonasera.
evening. Good evening. You know what I had for dinner tonight? I had
Guten
lasagna
Tag.
pizza.
Guten Tag. Yay. Pizza. Well, that's what we had. Today's been nuts. The kids had an international festival at their school, so I helped run one of the tables. Then I did my live stream. Then I had to, anyway, it was pizza for dinner, but it was not homemade.
Yeah, this was lasagna pizza from the store. I'm like, wow, I'm
Oh.
like, could get more Italian than lasagna
Wait,
pizza. right?
lasagna pizza?
Lasagna
really
pizza.
good.
That's complicated.
I gotta take
How
a
do you
picture
do
of it and
that?
show you.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of
You're kind of blowing my brain here.
I'm kind
Well,
of
it was
thinking like, wait, Are you putting lasagna noodles layered on
No,
slices of pizza?
It's just
Look.
the cheese. It's just the cheese, really. It's not really.
The man
there's no
puts
Oh, you're
clams
adding
on-
ricotta. You're adding ricotta to
ricotta.
okay. I
Yeah.
get
The
it. I
man
get it.
put the
White
man
pie,
puts Tom. The man puts clams on his pizza.
I don't have a
delicious.
problem with that, Dad, man.
I
told you I
do.
don't.
I do.
You
but
think the Italians are going to have issues with clams on pizza?
Now, if you put pickles on
should.
pizza, then we're gonna have words.
I'll put ketchup on pizza. It's a glorified
Listen,
tomato
are
sauce.
you the type of guys that put ketchup on your steak? Because if so, we're gonna have to have a talking to.
No. Them's fighting words. No, you put nothing on steak. You know, a good steak should not need any sauce or any covering. Not at all. Not at all. If it's a good piece of meat.
Okay,
The
I'm an
worst
A1
piece of
steak
steak-
sauce girl, though. Just saying.
The worst steak I ever had was in Belgium. They had
Really?
it was a big fancy event, and they brought over a French chef to this event, and this was like the only time I got to be in an event so ritzy. And they said, okay, you can choose between salmon and steak. So I went with steak. And after 6 hours of preparation, they finally brought it out. So true French food, apparently.
6
'Cause it took
hours you had
6
to wait?
We ordered it at 6. It was delivered at midnight.
Wow.
So
Hey,
it,
do you
They
murder
aged
the
it for you.
cow?
we thought that maybe they went out, butchered the cow, seasoned it, tenderized it, and stored it for like aging, and then decided to make meat out of it. And then when they finally brought it out, it was this little tiny disc of meat, and it was
Sorry.
spongy. And I started cutting into it, and like geysers came out of it, geysers of sauce, and I'm like, oh, this is gross. And so, me being a bit younger at the time, I thought, I wonder what would happen if I got rid of all this sauce. So I just took my fork and just pressed down on this thing, and all the fluid went out, and I was left with a little tiny wafer of meat.
That's the French for you.
I
There
was
you
like,
go.
this is not worth
A
6 hours.
It's a wafer thin.
Oh, so Tom, Jess is asking, so you wouldn't do a cheeseburger pizza with pickles?
I hate pickles.
Dang.
You've never been pregnant then.
Of course not.
Well, see, one, you will be on Anna's bad side because she's a queen of pickles. And two,
I don't like pickles. I have plenty
Yeah.
of friends, and let's see, Linda likes pickles.
yeah,
My sister's a pickle fanatic. I got
yeah.
a friend who will eat those big kosher
Yeah.
Kosher
those
tip-
things.
yeah, the big kosher spears.
Yeah.
I just don't like
I
pickles.
love
I
Well,
never did.
just be careful with Anna around because she loves her pickles. And my wife, when she was pregnant, she ate ribs all the time. Ribs. That was
What
her
does ribs
thing.
have to do with pickles?
No,
Where'd
you
that
talked
come
about
from?
well because you talked
Pregnancy.
about women being pregnant.
I didn't say that. That was
You
Mark.
did. Well,
Blame
Mark.
Mark.
Somebody
Damn it,
said.
Mark.
Anyway,
Damn
damn
it,
it,
Mark.
I like the line of thinking.
Flautas.
Hey,
Flautas.
but hey,
That's what I craved. Flautas.
what
Give
are
me some good-
flautas? You flout something on my channel? What? By the way, let me.
Flautas-
Yeah.
Flautas are the authentic type of taquito. Taquitos are Americanized. Flautas are the actual thing. Flautas are better.
Flautas. I mean, flautas is like I want to go run down the street flouting my myself
You
to
know,
everybody.
What is
all the
with you
neighbors.
doing that, dude?
Because dadgummit is what I do when I'm goofy and when I'm really happy in life.
You
know?
fantasize about running naked down streets?
Look, I am
Are we
God.
gonna have
You
like
can play
Florida
Fortnite
Man
in his
story on
undies?
you?
I've got joy to share with the world. You know, I'm the gift that keeps on giving, like at Christmas. But let me introduce y'all to the Butcher of Blaviken, which is her name's Jay. She's on the Full Aussie podcast. Speaking of Anna, but hey, Jay, how are you tonight? Good to see you. And I was on yesterday, Tom. Hey, Tom,
Yes, I
I'm a
know, Jay.
rapper. Tom, I'm a rapper. Yo, where'd your mother, homie?
Oh
Right?
no.
What's the matter, you?
What's the matter with you? What's the matter with me? Don't
Why you
matter,
look
man.
so bad?
We fight Popo in the JoJo in the trailer park in Yoho. Sorry. Thank you, Jay. Good to see you tonight. Hope
I
you and
think
your
I need to drink heavily, people. I'm sorry.
Yeah, have you a few more rum and cokes. Hey, wait till I get baby cuteness addicted to rapping, Jay. Sam.
Don't you dare.
She loves my unicorns already.
You know,
Yes, Florida
Sam,
man.
all you gotta do is say the word, and I can drive up to where Dadman is, and I can hit him with a large
You're
trout.
welcome, Jay. Good to see you.
Please hit him
With
for
a
me,
large
Tom.
trout
Why?
with eggs on it.
Why?
Oh yes, can we secretly sneak eggs into his food?
Yeah.
There you go, Sashi, beatboxing.
Yeah.
Yo, dog from
Run for
Malaysia.
your lives. Run
Yo,
for your lives.
Sashi. What's up, Holmes? Anyway, we'll get back to Sashi.
Hey Sashi, send Dadman some good egg recipes.
Stop with the eggs, please. No. No, I picked the eggs out of fried rice. That's how bad I hate eggs. So
Actually, eggs are great in fried rice.
they
What's wrong
suck.
with you?
Oh, they're
What's
great.
wrong with
Can't
you?
can't have fried rice without eggs in them.
Look,
Yeah,
real
you
Italian are the breadsticks at Olive Garden. I'm telling you. But anyway.
You're about as cultured as curled milk. I couldn't say that right. Don't mind me. I got tongue tied. I
It's
pulled
okay.
a Dadman.
Yeah, there you go. It rubs off on everybody. Yeah. So
Don't you rub off on me. That's disgusting.
No, I'm not rubbing off like that. You know, you're down there. I'm up here. No. It's
That
just like-
came out even worse, Dadman.
I don't care. You get your mind out of the gutter.
I'm not in the gutter.
Yeah, you are.
No.
Hey Dadman,
Yes, ma'am.
did you know there's places where they put a fried egg on pizza?
Yes, I've heard about it.
They put fried eggs
Fried
on
egg on
hamburgers,
burgers.
too, and they're
Yeah,
delicious.
I've seen that. Fried eggs on burgers too. So yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Curdled milk is
Yes,
pretty
that's why I
curdled.
realized my mistake. I'm like, that ain't gonna work. Whoops.
Oh gosh. Sashi, CJ, this is what you get when you come on to these Saturday night shows here. The randomness and stuff just comes up and happens. But see, and then we got the resident Malaysian with all of his recipes that he throws out on
Excellent
my wife's
recipes.
show.
There you
and-
go.
yeah.
He has great
Exactly.
recipes.
Exactly. He does. He's got a lot of great movie links and all kinds of other stuff. But yeah, Sam, have you seen Mario with the kids yet? We kind of touched on that. We're going to kind of talk a little bit about storytelling in just a little bit, and that's why I'm glad you're here now. But have y'all been able to see Mario?
No, it came out after their spring break, and things have been a little nuts, so we have not.
Oh man,
If
yeah.
we're thinking of doing a family fun day, either next Saturday or the Saturday after, and going in with them to see it. So
Okay. Well, I think you'll enjoy it. It's definitely a good family movie. Although my wife and I fell asleep in the early part of it.
That's not a good review.
that's supposed to
We
be a
thought it was good.
recommendation for it.
Well, it got
Good, but we
better.
fell asleep.
It got better. Yeah, it
I
got better.
that.
Could you?
It got
Somebody somewhere has these two sleeping in the beginning of this movie, and it's got to be on YouTube someplace or TikTok.
It got better. It
And
got
you got-
better.
Look at these guys sleeping in the beginning of this movie, people.
Well, the
They
funny
paid
thing
You know
us.
how
was,
they have critics in the TV commercials like critics, the Dadmans. That's pretty good.
If we
After you
fall-
wake up, then the movie gets better.
well, it did. It started good. It got dry for a little bit. Then we woke up. We enjoyed the rest of it. But Fallout Dave's here.
How do
Hey,
you know?
Fallout-
You were sleeping.
Well, it got better after that. You know, when we woke up, it was great. We didn't go back to sleep, so that's how we knew it was good.
Oh my god!
Let me ask y'all a question though.
You
with
really
this
are an old man.
Get off my lawn, yo! But I'm an old man that can rap, yo, dog.
Oh
Anyway.
golly!
Oh my god.
Anna
How do your
created it.
children not die of
Listen.
embarrassment?
Anna
Listen.
created it last night. This lady here,
I
Jay,
was
is
there.
encouraging it. Yes,
I was
Tom was
there.
there.
And one person said, "Hey, that wasn't a bad job this time." They didn't say all
Twice.
times.
Twice something Jay did and Larry did. So I take that.
Here's a hint: don't let it go to your head.
Hey, I'm going to ride that pony for as long as I can. It
Here
might be a
you are
short,
with horses,
quick
unicorns, and
burnout.
ponies. Why can't you just drive a car like everybody else?
Because have you seen my driving in Fortnite?
Yes,
Maybe
I
better
have.
than
Up
Sam's.
lots of stuff.
Well, Sam, you can't judge anybody when you're driving.
Hey,
you
I
know?
didn't say I was judging. I said I saw it. I didn't say I was any better.
Well,
I
speaking
mowed
of,
like 3 people in a row.
Poor
over last
Alaska
night. It
Jeff.
was a
He's
lot of
like,
fun.
what madhouse have I entered?
oh, Jeff is used
Jeff,
to
are
this,
we
but
just driving? You just look so confused over there.
Jeff's like, "What the hell am I on camera? Why am I doing this to myself?"
no, actually, Jeff's like happy he can finally play Fortnite again because you know you were stuck.
Oh, is
to
your
what-
Fortnite fixed?
he got it fixed,
Finally.
right? Yeah.
Yay for you!
So what was wrong with it?
So It was indeed the video card. It did not like that I had quadros. And so once I got the new one, suddenly everything works fine.
Your video
you
card
know
was
what?
too old or something, or too
No,
new?
it
or
was a
what?
quadro.
The Quattros
Quattros-
are GPUs for rendering and work
Precisely.
It
class.
was too nice.
It's
they
slower.
have a different instruction set. The CUDA cores go in different and everything else. So.
So you had to get an NVIDIA card, basically.
Basically, I needed to get a video card designed for games.
Gaming
okay.
card.
So
I have
that one
with
was designed for animation and rendering, and so thus the processing is a lot more robust, but it's slower, and it just couldn't keep up.
So the instruction set wasn't right for the card, basically, even though it's a really good graphics card.
Basically, it would require NVIDIA to offer an update, and they just don't bother to update those ones the same way as they do game cards, and so it started out fine, and then over time just got worse and worse. And I noticed the updates came in slower and slower.
what year are the Quattros?
It's a P series,
Okay.
P4000.
Okay.
Is that like the T1800 or T1000 from Terminator? By the way, make sure I say the hi to Fallout Dave in case I forgot to earlier. Dave, great to see you.
Dadman.
Yeah.
I'm going to
What?
send you a couple old video cards for you to try in a gaming computer.
Okay. I don't know how I'm going to get them in, but that's fine. You can send all the stuff you want.
You just
And no,
glue
Sasha,
them.
I won't show them. You glue them?
Yeah, you just glue the card. Just kidding.
You can actually smear eggs on them and slide them into a computer
I
slot
got
in your
you.
PS5.
I got you. All right. Well, let's have a fun question with this one because we talked about us sleeping through the first part of the Mario movie. It was a good movie. I will still say that overall at the end, but I think Sonic has got a better future because Sonic 4 is coming out. But is there?
Have you guys seen oh gosh, now I just blanked on it. The sci-fi, the one that just
Project Hail Mary?
yes. Have you guys seen Project Hail Mary?
I haven't seen
I
that
have.
one yet.
I have not yet.
No.
I
Okay.
guess I'm the only one that's seen it. Did you see it?
I saw it. I saw it.
Did you
Well,
like
you can
it?
say what you
I-
you can say what you want.
I
Take it,
actually liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I like sci-fi, but
It's
for
not
some
hard
reason it feels like
sci-fi,
sci-fi
really.
movies lately from Hollywood just haven't been hitting the same. And
Mhm.
I'm a hardcore sci-fi girly. Sergeant Dad loved the book and was ranting and raving about the book. And so I read most of the book, not all of it. They did a fabulous job. The casting was on point. It hit in all the right places. It had just enough levity that you didn't feel like you were watching something depressing. Like it was very good. Like there were some things that maybe I would change here or there, but overall I really enjoyed it. And I don't think I've enjoyed something like a sci-fi movie at the theater in forever. So
Right. It was good you and Sergeant Dad were able to get some time out, but I hear the mutiny's still going on in the background, right?
oh yeah, the mutinies. Sergeant Dad showed up and he's like, just go join your friends. I'll deal with the crazy. I'm like, yay.
Oh, yay.
Yeah,
was
the
good he
casting
got
was
home
really
tonight.
good. How'd they find someone to be Rocky? That was awesome. Just kidding. Yeah, no,
I know, right? I
Yeah.
I couldn't believe they could find an alien on I'm joking.
Well, Sashi sounds like what Fallout David said about a movie. David said something earlier today about the Mario movie. It hadn't been to theater, and Sashi hadn't been since 2021. Decided to go for it. Was not disappointed. A lot of people have not been going back to the theater since everything shut down. Prices and all kinds of other stuff. Do y'all? I'm jumping questions now to a different question. We'll come back to the other in a minute. But do y'all enjoy the theatrical experience in the theaters versus watching at home better, or do you prefer watching movies at home? Jeff, I'll let you go first.
Well, that's an interesting question. I used to really like going to the theaters. It's one of the reasons why I went into the field of communication and media to begin with. The pandemic was not the tipping point for me. It was before.
Mm-hmm.
I think the pandemic is blamed because it was the convenient scapegoat for Hollywood, whereas what had really happened is in 2018, 2019 is when Hollywood really made a turn for the worse. And people started noticing it and people were talking about it. In 2019 was the rise of, I'm going to say it was the rise of YouTube hate for Hollywood. 2020 was when it solidified, and the pandemic, amplified it. So I think it accelerated a trend that was already happening. And so now there's a lot of people that would like to go back, but we have a couple of problems. One, the world of media has not changed. Films have not changed. They've not really gotten better necessarily in terms of the complaints people have had. The experience has gotten way more expensive. I remember as a college student thinking that it was spendy back then. And now I'm looking at the prices thinking there is no way that I would want to do that if I could just use that same amount of money and buy the movie. So the motivation to try and rush into it's gone because of YouTube as part of that reason, but also because I also realize that a lot of media, the fear of people spoiling things has kind of subsided. There's the FOMO no longer gets to me. And so I think when all comes down to it, I still like to watch the films, but I don't have any incentive to rush to the theater.
Gotcha. Okay, Sam, where do you want to? How do you want to jump in there?
See, I'm a mixed bag on it. I actually love the theater experience, but I don't have FOMO at all because the price tag. If I take my entire family to the movies, it's gonna be about $80 because we've got 4 kids. Like it's not gonna be it's gonna be pricey. And so a family of 6 going to the theaters is absolutely just ridiculous. So it's something we don't do as often as we used to because the price has gone up. Also, I'm more concerned with content. I feel like because there was this era of when I was in college where it was not cheap, but it was just I was paying for one ticket. I could go a lot more with friends. Or when we were first married, my husband and I, we went to see almost every Marvel movie in the theater when we were first married. And then we hit the 3rd kid phase of our life. And it was just like, oh, is that worth a babysitter? Is that worth taking? Should we show that to kids? We just had so many more questions. But I've always been the person that loves seeing it in the theater. So my issue is by the time I know a movie's worth seeing in the theater, it might be out of the theater. And that's my thing. I was like, bummer. Plus, getting Sergeant Dad to sit down and watch a movie with me and not get distracted is so hard. If I'm going to get him to watch a movie, it's going to be at the theater. So we go maybe once or twice a year post-COVID. Pre-COVID, I think we might have gone a little bit more as a couple, but the kids, we saw Mario in the theater, the first Mario. We saw Sonic in the theater, but those were all grandparent movies. Like grandparents were paying the bill. That's why. Kids
Nice.
Grandparents come into town, then we go to the theaters.
Nice, very nice.
Popcorn for everyone.
I know, right? And then, but we saw date night movies. We saw Maverick, Top Gun, Maverick. Oh my gosh, that was great. I'm glad we saw that one in theaters. We saw Godzilla -1, loved it. Project Hail Mary. But we just don't get out as much because there's been a couple times where people, for our anniversary, someone gave us a gift card to the theater. We had it for a year because every time we had time to go to there wasn't a movie we wanted to see. So it's harder. And I did go with some friends to see one of the Downton Abbey movies, and it was a massive letdown. Like, I was like, why did I spend the money to see this in the theater? Like, Top Gun Maverick, that was worth seeing in the theater. Godzilla -1, totally worth seeing in the theater. Downton Abbey, just watch it on your TV. It was not worth seeing in the theater. So I just feel like there's a disconnect between the quality, because I feel like those period pieces and those period dramas, they used to have these really great shots, or they would have they wouldn't have the action, but they would have visuals. Like they would have really great cinematography. And so that would make it worth seeing in the theater. And I don't see that smaller dramas or theater, or like, sorry, the dramas or the historical ones or those rom-coms, they don't seem to have the same level of cinematography that they used to, that makes it worth the price tag now.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
And maybe
Tom,
I'm wrong. You guys can all disagree with me.
No, I think there's truth in that. Tom, what do you think?
He just disappeared.
I know
That's
he
what he
disappeared.
thinks.
Oh yeah, he
That always
completely
happens.
disappeared.
Call on-
Yeah.
I said arg.
Arg. So do you and Linda get to go to movies, or have y'all gone to movies much over the years?
Oh yeah, we go to movies. It all depends on our mood. Lately, we just don't want to deal with it.
No, I understand.
I'll
Yeah.
wait for it to come out on video, or as I said, I'll arg it.
Arg.
I'm
Oh,
horrible.
I got arg now. Okay.
So
I'm a little
I'm
slow.
gonna raise the black.
Raise the flag. Mark, what about you?
Well, yeah, certain movies you kind of have to see in the movie theater. Well, you don't, but that's part of the problem too. Is, since the pandemic, people got used to, renting movies, or they released movies direct to video, and you could just watch them on your couch. And most of the time, a lot of times the theater experience can be a crummy experience. You got screaming kids in there. I went to see Rambo 4, and there was some horrible scenes in that. And there's, like, someone brought their, like, 5-year-old, 3-year-old
my
kids to that
gosh.
at like a midnight show, or like a 10 o'clock show. And I'm like, they shouldn't even see this. It's like, yeah, they're not gonna. Who knows what that's gonna do? But you can't stop. I mean, there should be a rule. You can't
Yeah.
bring, like, young kids into
That's
a
horrible.
movie like that. I mean, it's one thing if they're an infant and they can't see it, but it's loud, and there's people getting mowed down by 50 caliber machine guns exploding
Yeah.
everywhere. I'm like,
Oh,
why
I've
is
seen
the
them in
kid
zombie
there?
movies. I've seen them in zombies, like
Yeah.
I'm Legend, or one of
That's
those
crazy.
Yeah.
things. And it's like, why would you, even an infant in a car seat? It's like you ruin the theater. You ruin the experience for everybody else too.
Yeah. Yeah, like I
Well-
went to see Iron Man 3 with the kids. I went opening night, and then like granted it was a matinee, but then they had people with, like, the kids running up and down the aisle, and a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
you got to be. Yeah, you
See,
got
that
to be.
annoys me, because I'll take my kids, and we've taken baby cuteness now to the theater once. She is 3. And granted, it was to see David. It was, very much a kitty cartoon
Yeah.
movie. But, they all sit still. My kids sit still. They behave. They don't throw popcorn. They don't run around. We don't allow that crap.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
paying that much money for my kids to act like animals. They're going to act like animals. They can do it at home.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that I don't know these parents. I don't know what their issues, like what their family's dynamics are, but I know in my house and with my kids, if I'm paying that much for you to see a movie, you better sit down and behave, because
Yeah,
all
well-
heck is breaking loose if you
Yeah, it's
don't.
one thing that, like, a kid yells out once in a while. Yeah, the kid ran up, but, like, the parents didn't care that the
No.
kids are, like, just playing and yelling, and and then you get in trouble if you complain, right? You're the bad
Yeah.
guy.
Well, see,
And,
our kids grew up in the baseball parks with at the minor league baseball. We'd sit about 6 seats away, and they'd kind of go between two of us. But they sat there. They watched the game most of the time. It wasn't,
Yeah.
oh, let's get a kiddie park and let them distract. No, they went and watched the games and stuff like that. And I think sometimes it's about training them, but then again, sometimes it doesn't work. I've got one kid that my oldest one watched Star Wars Attack of the Clones twice in the theater. That's a 2.5 hour movie. And the second
Yeah.
time was like, Daddy, when are they going to quit romancing and start fighting again?
yeah.
And and then my younger one couldn't even sit still through SpongeBob. But as they
Well,
matured and they got more exposure, they did better.
And that's the reason why I hate to say, like, oh, they're bad parents, because you don't know what they're dealing with their kids. At the same time, there is I'm a millennial parent, so I will totally, like, say stuff about millennial parents. There are quite a few that aren't trying hard enough. Like I know there's some people who've got a hard deck that they're dealing with, and they're trying to teach their kids, and part of teaching their kids how to behave in public is allowing them the opportunities to be in public. But at the same time, like expectations, follow through, and parenting skills are just lacking in millennials. And I'm a millennial, I'll say that.
Yep.
But we've taken our kids to the theater, we've taken our kids to the ballet, we've taken our kids to the normal theater. And now, granted, I didn't start off by taking them to the ballet, like that would have been dumb.
Yeah.
But I was in the performing arts. I was a theater kid. I was a costume designer. I love that sort of stuff. And so we started off with community theater and high school theater, and we worked them up to these skills, and we started taking them young, and we pick things we know they're going to be interested in so that they've got those skills. And so movie theater ain't nothing, because it's even more chill than other stuff.
Jess is talking about where the Taylor Swift tour thing, and that these people, and that's the thing is when they get separated, they run around playing tag. Yeah, it's we were worried about it with the movie tonight because the kids started talking all across. Mom, I want popcorn. My wife's sitting there. No, you little rat, you're not getting popcorn. Of course, it was before the movie started, at least, so it was okay with that. I do have something.
Did the mother actually call it a little rat or a little
no,
brat?
My wife said under her breath. My wife said under her breath, no, you're not going to get any, you little rat. So, but I got a new restaurant I want to show y'all. And Mark, if you got food pictures, have them prepped.
Yeah,
I want to kind of
get them.
I want to kind of while we're still in the movies, I want to give Jeff an opportunity to kind of take us in a little direction here, since all of y'all are on. Last night we were supposed to talk about the lost art of storytelling. So I asked Jeff to let's kind of do a light version of it tonight. So I'm going to let him lead a little bit here with this, Jeff. So, and y'all pop in and let's have a big group discussion with this about the loss of storytelling, because Jess earlier put the link to the first one we talked about, where Jeff did more of the presentation. Yes, it was really good. And Jeff, I know we talked about it privately, like we wanted to do a second part, like with Star Wars, Jeff. So let's talk about the loss of storytelling, and let's make it specific to Star Wars, even Star Trek, because I know Mark is a big Star Trek fan. So, I mean, take us in a direction. You start, and we'll go off of that.
All right.
No pressure, by the way.
No pressure at all. Yeah. A couple of years ago, I lost the ability to really feel pressured in most situations. I had some really bad experiences that took place, and kind of like anything in life, when you go through something and you have that moment of panic and freak out, then suddenly you encounter it again, and it's like, oh, well, it doesn't affect me anymore. Same sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So here's a question for you, and this goes for every one of you here. What was the point that you thought when that you thought Star Wars had a loss in storytelling? What would you say was the moment that you thought, dang, this is not what it used to be?
Well, to me at least, I think it'd be easy to point to Last Jedi, especially with Rian Johnson attacking the Flans with the Snoke theories and stuff. But that seems like it's a little too easy, like the big target, the low-hanging fruit. As time went on, I think it goes back into The Force Awakens. Mm-hmm. When everybody started mocking it as A New Hope 2.0. And when they killed Han Solo. Especially punk, excuse me for saying punk ass, but it really was a punk ass way of killing a noble character. By the way, the actor, Mr. Ford, needs to read the friggin' books to understand how complicated and deep of a character Han Solo was. He wasn't some stupid whatever. Read a book, like you said, like your father said in Last Crusade about reading a book instead of burning them. Well, maybe you ought to read a book and you understand how important Han Solo was to the whole mythos of Star Wars. It was about the Skywalker bloodline, not just Luke's children, but Han and Leia's children. So as I thought more between his death and the way they parroted the original movie, that's where I think it really, like I said, it's easy to pick on Last Jedi, but I think it has its roots back to the movie before it.
Oh, I always hated the Force Awakens, as Clobby called it. Never, and my dad, unfortunately, at the time was, dying of cancer, and huge Star Wars fan. When I went to see it in 1977, we had to beg him to go see it, and my sister and I'm like, we have to go see Star Wars, Dad. And he's like, oh, I don't want to waste money on this crap. It's can be too expensive, And we just started a business and living with my grandparents, and not that a movie was that expensive, but they really were counting. My dad didn't take a salary for like 8 years, or get paid for like 8 years, basically. And so times were, I never knew it as a kid, but times were lean, let's say. So we finally agreed. He finally agreed to take us to the movie. It was like one of the best moments ever in my life. And I remember hearing that fanfare come up and seeing that movie, and I felt like on cloud nine, and like I saw Star Wars. By then most kids had too, but it was just such a revelation when that ship comes, the first cruiser comes over, and then you think it's a big ship, and then the bigger ship comes. It was just groundbreaking. My dad ended up loving it, and he ended up loving Indiana Jones and Han Solo, and loving Star Wars, which was kind of funny. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try to get Dad to this movie to see it, and then they kill his favorite character, and he's not doing well. I'm like, there's no way I can take him to see this movie, and I didn't like, and especially the stuff with Rey. Now the actress was just complaining now that people were picking on her. They're calling her Mary Sue. The first time I watched into the movie, I'm like, what body part's she gonna lose? I'm like, well, they're not gonna cut her hand off because it's too much like Luke. I'm like, maybe she'll lose a leg and an arm or something. She's gonna get mauled here. Pardon my use of your phrase.
Yeah.
And then she wins the fight against Kylo Ren. I'm like, this is insane. I mean, no character development. They had no plan for that trilogy. Mark Hamill, I was thinking the other day, like, God, I wish Mark Hamill just read the script and said, I'm not doing it. Screw you guys. Because they destroyed Luke Skywalker in The Force Awakens. The whole thing, I hated it from the start. And then The Last Jedi, by that point, it didn't matter. But why do you not get the original characters together?
Well,
and then you do a pass off to the new characters if you want to. You go to Galaxy's Edge. Sorry, I'm ranting. You go to Galaxy's Edge.
Go ahead.
When it first opened, I'm like, this is freaking depressing. I'm like, where's the original trilogy? Who do you think the parents are that have the money that want to take their kids to this? Yeah, you can have both. It's okay. I think the new stuff sucks, but you can have both. At least have some. Can't have. There's no Tatooine. There's no Hoth. What are you, crazy? It was a ghost yard. It was hard. You go through. There was no life. There were none of the old characters. One of the most fun I ever had was, and then I'll finish in a second, was when I went to see Disney MGM. We're on the ride for Star Tours, and Chewbacca pops out. Talking Chewbacca, and I pops out of the side. And I jumped up. I'd be like, Chewie! And the guy must have been like, who's this crazy back in the day 30-year-old guy? And I like wanted to give a big hug, But like genuinely, I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like to me, that was seeing Chewbacca. And then Han dies, and Leia goes and rushes and hugs Rey, who she doesn't even know, and goes right by Chewie. Who wrote this crap? Sorry,
I forgot about that. I forgot about that detail. But a couple points, real quick, and Tom and Sam jump in there. But one, Mark, you're right. The memories are destroyed. You got a childhood memory. I got it. It's the only movie I ever watched in a theater with my mom, my dad, and my dad's parents. My grandparents were real life R2D2 and C3PO. My mom was the neurotic. My grandma was all over the place, and my granddad was the hard headed little. I'm going to do what I do. R2D2. I mean, they were real life characters like that. I mean, that memory always sticks with me, and that is gone. Well, no, the memory is there, will always remain, but the franchise is dead. And I forgot what the other thing you said, but Finn, Ray. I mean, they demeaned that character to Ray. I mean, like, people expected in the previews that he was going to be something, a converted stormtrooper, force sensitive or something, And I have always said the alternate mistake would have been to take the EU as it was and write it literally, because one, it would be boring. Two, not all the EU was good, but to me, they needed it had to stay with the Skywalker bloodline. The moment they moved away from Skywalker, just to put the Disney, you could come up with new names of these characters if you want to, But the point, it was the Skywalker bloodline, not these other freaks that come out from out and are fake pseudo Skywalkers. I'm Ray Skywalker. I mean, just
So,
I'm my rant.
I'm
But
going to interject, Dad.
and let's make sure, Tom, you interject, and Tom, I do want to hear what you think
Okay.
too. But go ahead.
For me, this is a complicated answer because Star Wars means a lot to me. I first saw Star Wars at age 3. I
Wow.
literally grew up with Star Wars in my life, but I'm a generation younger than y'all. I didn't see it in the theater when it was first released. And so, but I grew up in a complicated early childhood, and Star Wars was my escape. It was my happy place.
Mhm.
I wanted an Ewok. I wanted Chewie. I wanted teddy bears who could protect me. Like that's the kind of 5-year-old I was.
Right.
I probably was a little more Lilo than my mom would have wanted to put up with, but it was my world. I love the expanded universe. I grew up reading Young Jedi Knights. I have shelves of Star Wars books. Not even, and I'll admit, not all the EU was good. Some of the EU was pretty tacky and corny and cheesy.
Mhm.
But the thing is, there was a general concept in Star Wars. There was these themes. There was these certain things you could go to. I don't know how many of you have seen the movie Secondhand Lions, but there's a speech that he gives. It's the everything every boy needs to know about being a man speech. And part of it is that good does not always triumph over evil, but you still should be good. And that was one of the things I loved about Star Wars, is that there was virtue, there was light, there was something to aspire to. It didn't mean the world wasn't gritty. It didn't mean there were people weren't complicated. It didn't mean you didn't get disappointed and things didn't go right all the time. For heaven's sake, Luke's character is no saint. He goes through some pretty rough stuff in the EU, but he doesn't. He's human in that. Han, oh my gosh, that guy is a soldier of fortune. He's not perfect. He shoots first. But the thing is, he has a line he won't cross. He still has some moral code of ethics. Even Boba Fett, who, if you read him in the books, he is not a saint. He is he's like a gun for hire. But even he has lines he won't cross.
Right. He has a moral code also.
Yeah, and so there are themes and tones and so I could find things to look to in growing up. I could find those things that I cared about that helped me want to be a good person, that I found aspirational and inspirational and just those sorts of things. And then so when Rogue One comes out, I'm like, okay, you walked away from the main theme line. You're trying to show you're doing your own thing, but it wasn't bad. Like, you still had those themes in it that there's still hope. Even when everything blows up in your face, it doesn't mean you need to quit and give up to the bad guy. That just because people die, it doesn't mean that it's, and I love what Andor says, his character. He's like, we did all of those horrible things thinking we were fighting for a good cause. And if we quit now, then we just did those horrible things for no good reason. Like, he wasn't willing to quit on that. There was really good, they still were drawing on what I felt was the heart of Star Wars. And then you got into Force Awakens and I'm like, holy crap, do you even know what the heck you're making? Like, I had already seen Abrams break the lore in Trek. And I'm like, okay, well, good thing I'm not a Trekkie because he just broke this thing. And then I see him get his hands on Star Wars and I'm like, okay, maybe they'll rein him in and not let him be so stupid. But I love the fact that he actually built a life-size Falcon. I thought that was great. There were things he was doing that they were talking about. And I'm like, okay, maybe this could work. And then I saw the movie and I'm like, okay, this was an enjoyable movie to watch, but it just doesn't feel the same.
Right.
And as it went further on, I'm sitting there going, okay, this is shameless cash grabs. It just doesn't, I didn't find the hope. There wasn't,
Sam, hold your thought 1 second. Dadman, I sent you my explanation via X that I would like you to play in place of me talking. Go ahead, Sam.
Okay, let me find it.
So I grew up with a complicated family situation, and I didn't have a biological dad figure in my life. And so I really liked the good father figures that you could find in Star Wars. And I liked the fact that Luke was able to help bring his father back. I liked that in the books, Han became a good, caring father. He still stayed Han. He still did dumb stuff. Like, he was still Han, but he genuinely loved and cared and put his family and his kids as a priority. And so to see them so disrespect that father figure he had become in that movie, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not sure how I feel about this. I still went and saw the other ones in the theater because I hoped they wouldn't double down on it. But I loved the mentor figure of Ben Kenobi. I loved this whole, it didn't make sense. They destroyed everything they had built. And so I guess for me, I feel like Star Wars always felt like a family story, a story about family. And what does it mean to be family? And because even when you talk about the rogues, they're a family. I'm military. So for me, family is not always biological. And so I don't know if these people know what a family is.
So when you look at a lot of films where they mess up on family, you have to remember one thing very important. Almost everybody who is in the world of media, entertainment, whether it's Hollywood, theater, even gaming, whatnot, most of them have traumatic backstories. Almost every one of them is there because their family fell apart. I've gotten to interact with a lot of actors, not necessarily big-time actors, but every one of them came from a bad background, and they were all running. So thus, they became good actors because they knew how to put on a face. Mm-hmm. They could disappear into other characters because they were running, and they needed a way to camouflage what was in their emotions.
Yeah.
And it's so very easy for these people to just think that's how the world is. But there's also the flip side. You also have to realize that a lot of these people have agendas. And to them, their worldview does not match what the world is. And so they have to change it. And so when they see movies, they think, hey, here's an opportunity to get to all those people that we can't seem to reach with our messaging. And so they will bend over backwards to get their hands on it. Mm-hmm. Shame on any company who does that, but also shame on the person who sold out. George Lucas, like I mentioned in the first story stream, George Lucas is to blame for the fall of Star Wars. He's the one who signed off everything. It was like, I'm going to entrust other people. It was his fault as much as Disney or Filoni or anybody else who put their hands on it.
Well, one other thing you talked about was like the deadbeat dad, Han Solo, deadbeat dad. That's not what he was in the EU. No. Once again, we got another franchise, another movie where we can't have an organ. Look, the family unit was screwed up. They had their problems, like every other family. They had bad problems, but they were at least together. Look at all the shows, the incompetent dad, or everybody's divorced and everything else. And why can't we keep a franchise or something where, it's a marriage, it's together. It may be a troubled marriage or whatever. The kids may be rebellious, but it's more like life than, well, they're automatically divorced. The family fell apart and everything else.
Well,
did you see the thing, Dadman?
I got it. It finally downloaded.
Okay.
To just tag on what you said about Hollywood and families, I think that's actually why I was a theater kid. I did go into costume design. I did do all that. I was a theater person. And then I had I had an engagement blow up in my face, and I realized I wanted a functional family. I didn't want what I was seeing in my peers in the theater industry and entertainment industry. And I made some life changes, and I'm so glad I got out of that, because I'm not saying everyone in there is going to be messed up and you can't have a good family and be in there. But I knew, coming from a complicated, less than functional family background, if I surrounded myself with people who thought that was normal and kind of fed into that, it was going to be harder for me to have a stable family, which is what I wanted. And so I knew, for me, I needed to find a different, and I'm not saying military families are the most stable in the world. They're their own kind of crazy and complicated.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I do get that. I think there is a lot of people in Hollywood who don't understand what an intelligent, loving, compassionate, capable father looks like, because maybe they've never seen that. And it's hard to write something that you don't know.
All right. Let me play this from Tom real quick.
Okay.
How long is it, Tom?
It's about almost 3 minutes. Might be a little bit. This is something I wrote, and it'll explain a lot, guys. Just enjoy it, because I didn't release it to a lot of people. So
hopefully, I think I got it. Hold on, let me do this.
Do I need to make sure the kids aren't listening?
No, it's fine. There's no swearing.
Yeah, I think I make sure I hit the buttons. I do want to follow up on something Mark said a minute ago, Star Wars weekend specifically, but remind me when we get that. We'll listen to what Tom has here. Let me know if you can't hear it, okay?
Lightspeed headlines, rumor mill loud, cantina buzzing, voices in a crowd, years of debates and endless fights, fans arguing deep into the night, posters peeling off the wall, waiting for a change, waiting for the call. We're humming themes we've always known, wondering if the spark comes back home. It's just a story, a joke we tell, a galaxy laughing, you know it well. No holocrons, no sacred lore, just fans dreaming of something more. Kathleen Kennedy's out of Star Wars. Cue the fireworks, confetti, and the phantom shows. Raise a glass in this make-believe delight, a fictional win on a Friday night. Laughs and breaking news, just fans having fun with the blues in this pretend galaxy far away. We're smiling big, yeah, that's okay. Message boards light up like Death Star beam. Memes fly fast, oh here they come. Some want grit, some want charm, some just want Jedi back in form. We love the shift, the mist, the flare, the laser swords, the space despair. No matter who sits in the chair, this universe is ours to share. So don't take this too seriously. It's a rock song fantasy. No press release, no inside track. Just a playful shout to the past. Here's the hope and stories untold. Here's the new heroes, brave and bold. Here's the laughs and love in the fight, arguing can until late at night. The force was never owned by one. It lives in the many, not just the sun. So we joke, we cheer, we play our part with nerdy love and a rebel heart. About to blink that.
Folks, this is done by Tom F.
Kathleen Kennedy's out of Star Wars. Just a rock and roll grin, a Turn it up. Let the amps ignite in this fake headline victory song. We all sing happily along, a galaxy laughing, guitars in the stars. Fans having fun wherever we are. So roll the credits, cue the theme, and the force of fun always pull you through.
That's basically it. So I can't stand Kathleen Kennedy, and I cheered when she got out the heck was fired.
Well,
And I've been not liking her direction since she took it over. So simple.
Yep. No, simple, sweet, and you know what's crazy, because like you said, Jeff, that Lucas sold out the franchise to others to deal with, and it just wasn't her. I mean, you look at all Disney's decisions; it goes to the top, even Iger, because look what they did with Galaxy's Edge. To Mark's point, it was just basically it was like a dirty Moroccan flea market with no character. I mean, not, and that's being kind to the flea markets, because they're better than what that was. There was no life. All the live interactive things that they promised never happened. They ended up doing that stupid hotel thing, but they didn't have the droids meeting everybody. They had some fake Jedi rebel or something.
The only thing they did right is the Bronto's friggin' roasters part in Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, and like to Mark's point though, they missed out on so much. Like when you're a kid, you saw Tatooine Traders, Chewbacca pops up. I remember when we talk about my kids growing up in the golden age of Disney, because we went like every year for almost 10 years to Star Wars weekends between May and June. That was more Star Warsy than ever since Disney bought the franchise. Yep. Because you had Luke, Leia, you had Jabba. You could trade Jawas. We needed a pen one day. We friggin' traded ticket stubs or something we had in our purse for Jawa for a pen. That's like Jawas, and it's like the movie came alive, and just then you had other characters, Jedi, as the prequels came out. You had Mace Windu, you had Kit Fisto. My oldest kid loved Kit Fisto. Yeah. It just, those memories, it felt more like Star Wars, and these were like a special time a week of the year. They had the Jedi Training Academy, which they still have now, but anyway, there's just so much there.
I'm going to say something that might be slightly controversial now, though.
Oh, no.
I don't think everything Disney has done with Star Wars has been bad.
No, and I agree. There are some things I agree, but go ahead.
I think that there have been moments in even the movies that we hate, the prequel, even the sequel trilogy. I feel like there are moments, there's elements. There are still times where you can see that there are people who are on that project who get it and love it. And then but that actually makes the disconnect between all of the rest so much more poignant, because you can feel the dissonance between the elements of people who get it and love it and the people who don't. I think The Acolyte was a really great example of this. There was some aspects of set design, sound design, and cinematography that still felt like Star Wars. And then you saw some of those costumes and set pieces and like some of the props, and you're sitting there going, holy crap, what person walked into Hobby Lobby and picked that thing up? Like there was so much disconnect. There was areas where you could see the love and the attention and the detail, and other parts where you're like, what the crap is that? Mm-hmm. And I think that there are moments, and this didn't sit well with some people, but I loved it in Mandalorian. That speeder bike scene with the two freaking stormtroopers trying to hit the can. Holy crap. As a military spouse, my husband and I were laughing our butts off. We thought that scene was money because, it kind of took away from the pacing from the show for other people, but as people who are part of the military community and get the joke that stormtroopers are supposed to be crappy at their aim, like A, it was a callback that was funny. B, it felt real because hurry up and wait is totally a thing in the military community. Also, like it just
Yeah.
it hit. It was, yeah, it may be messed up on the pacing, but personally, we didn't mind. We liked that scene.
But
So
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
it's a love-hate relationship now, which is sad. It was a love-love relationship with Star Wars, and now it's a love-hate relationship.
Well, my only thing though was that, and I agree, one of the big debates is about making a mockery of
Yeah.
the stormtroopers. So that's been the biggest thing, because
I
in the
didn't like
first
that.
one, a lot of people it's made them a mockery, because in the first Star Wars, like Obi-Wan says these blaster marks are too accurate for Tusken Raiders, for Sand People. They were Imperial stormtroopers, and the name stormtrooper denotes like very finely trained troops. They're not, which is why some people had problem with Return of the Jedi, with the Ewoks beating some of the Emperor's best
Yeah.
there. But that's, I mean, I do enjoy the humor too about the bad shots, but there are people that do hold to, they went so far with that they
overdid it.
Go ahead, Mark. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, but yeah, they overdid.
Good.
Like the scene is really funny, but if you had like, because that became a trope, like, and it's all movies do this, where like the bad guys can never hit the good guys, right? So I mean, it's not just Star Wars that we're picking on. So, but the problem was, that became like a joke among the fans, that the stormtroopers, couldn't hit anything. And when they codified that, instead of saying like, yeah, normally we're really good shots, but these two guys suck, or something, a way to do it, where they made, the humor of it, I don't mind, but it's kind of codifying that, maybe that's on my end a little bit too nitpicky, but like codifying that. And the other thing that drove me crazy about that episode, and I did really like The Mandalorian, especially the first season, where there's a gate across the road and they're in like this tank, and all they have to do is like go around the gate.
Yeah.
It's like, that's just not paying, like you said, walking into, Hobby Lobby or something. And I do love Hobby Lobby, but yeah, that's not professional stuff.
No, yeah.
No.
Like someone who's the quality control watching that and saying,
Yeah.
hey, maybe we could design like, just have, all we need to do is have a ravine or something, or, you're in a valley that you can't get by.
Yes.
I mean,
Well, yeah. So there's continuity issues, there's writing issues, there's design issues, there's definitely issues. I think for me, okay, again, like I know my opinions can be unpopular sometimes, but having been
It's
part
okay.
of
We love you anyway, because Olive Garden still rules. So
yeah, well, you can be wrong. Anyway, but so just from a military spouse perspective, I'm not saying I know everything about the military. I liked at one point in The Mandalorian, they had the SF stormtrooper guy clarify. He's like, hey, I'm not grunt level infantry. I'm skilled. And I liked that clarification, because I do think that trope could get leaned into too much. And I do get why some people get annoyed by it. But I do see that there is tier levels of specialization in every military. And so, yeah, stormtroopers are going to be more intimidating than your average Joe enforcer in a unorganized galaxy, but they're not going to be skilled level snipers all the time. And so having tier levels of skills makes sense. And George, people can disagree with the Ewok situation with George Lucas. I think it might have been a little over the top, but if
fun.
you've been in areas where you've been in a combat situation in jungle warfare specifically, you can have less technologically advanced and less skilled troops with guerrilla warfare and jungle warfare specifically take advantage of
everything, like terrain.
Yeah, because they know the terrain,
using,
they know the area.
they were using the hills, they were using the trees to.
So I do feel like it's a little over the top. I will give everyone the fact that it's over the top, but I don't feel like it's a complete detachment from plausibility. But Um, but yeah, I see things different now. You ask my husband about Star Wars, and he'll be like, "Oh, all of the military stuff is crap,"
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
if you
he
really
lives
do
it.
know military tactics and military
Yeah, we
stuff,
don't have
Star
X-wing
Wars is
fighters yet.
not good for
Well-
like. I'm
Well,
trying
you know
to.
who would who would rewrite it and have a bunch of goats attacking the Imperial troops? The eclectic goat would. Hello, goat.
Oh,
How are
yes,
you?
goat.
Good to see you. Hope you're doing well tonight.
I've got
But
some
go ahead.
training with a broadsword, and I'm
Oh.
stage combat certified with a broadsword. And I know, Dadman, I love throwing that in your face.
I love it.
It's after I got that training, I went back and watched some of the Star Wars lightsaber duels, and I'm like, oh, those are painful. Those are painful.
Yeah.
Because you can see how choreographed it is. But then there are other ones where you get skilled, they got skilled people, and they're pretty fun. So
Yeah.
the big thing about Star Wars is you have to. There's always been a level of suspending disbelief.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Good. By the way, hi to Brian Hepburn. Hey, Brian Hepburn. The TKs were trained just enough to be competent and not shoot each other by mistake. They were more like zombie threat from number of troops and mass and extremely expendable. Yes. And Brian, good to see you. Yeah. Mass-produced cannon fodder. Yep. Exactly. Oh, man. Hey, Jess has got an idea. Have Sergeant Dad and Jeff talking about the military war stuff in movies.
Oh, gosh. He would probably have a lot of fun. I got a few friends who'd probably have a blast talking that out with you.
We'll talk about that later then, Sam. I mean, I actually, that's a type that could be interesting, I would say. But
Star Trek is very authentic to the Navy. I just know that, yeah.
Now, the goat did say, I'm not swordsy, but the acolyte sword fights were still painful to watch, which gets to The Last Jedi with that throne room with Kylo and Rey. And you can see the red troopers, like the red guards, like pulling up, not attacking her. It's got a painful choreography with that. So, yes.
By the way,
go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead.
Did you ever consider why they fight with lightsabers the way that they do in the original story and the prequels? Why do they spin it around and hit rather than try and use them to kind of like a rapier? They're light. They would be very good as a rapier, but why do they have to swing it like that? Have you ever considered that?
Well, it's a waste of energy, yeah, because aren't you making yourself vulnerable to an attack by flipping it around to showing off? It
just looks fun. That's about it.
It does.
It does. It looks good. But the thing is, what a lot of people who aren't in the sword community don't understand is that your style of fighting changes based on your weapon. And Jeff is making a fantastic point. It feels like they are fighting with heavier weapons when you know they're fighting with lighter weapons. And so the tactics there is a disconnect there. And I'm wondering, was it something to do with the people they had on set, their skill and their background?
So no, it had to do with the original series. It was first off because of limitations of the
They had mirrors on it, didn't they?
Yes, it was a spinning mirror, reflective mirror, so that way it could catch the light. So it was basically like a glitter sword, and by spinning it would cause that light effect. But that only happened for the first film. So A New Hope.
They changed
Afterwards,
they
started changing it. They started actually rotoring over top of it. In fact, one of the most popular software in the world, Photoshop, got started as a tool for Star Wars to do stuff like that. But there's actually a logical reason, because they actually consulted a swords master to figure out how lightsabers would fight, because George Lucas initially had them kind of like rapiers, and you notice in the first one there's a little bit of that motion, and the guy came back and said, actually, you're not going to have that with a guardless weapon. And that's the reason why, because lasers cannot be turned into a guard. It's impossible to really do that wisely and protect you, because then you just have to
look at
shift a
Kylo
little
Ren's
bit around and you knock the guy's fingers off. So you can't stick it out forward, because basically you're saying, I'm going to get you, but you're also going to have a chance to get me at the exact same time. So first off, you have to start swinging it around. Second off, you're also getting a chance to possibly knock their blade around, so you could go in for a killing stroke.
Because you're using the momentum,
Yes, but all that goes down to the fact that they have no guards on the swords. They
I hadn't
have
thought
to
of
do
that.
that as the only way of attacking. So they had to get an actual sword master to tell them that. So that's why it is there. So then when Kylo Ren comes out with his
Yeah.
hilt, with a guard on his lightsaber, people thought, oh, he's like taking it to the next level. They're going to actually have legit strategy with using
Actual
that.
Well,
yeah.
But then you
What
look at
about-
the metal and you realize,
Yeah.
oh, it's just for decoration. It doesn't actually serve a purpose.
Yeah.
Now, Mark, if you bring those two things you put in private
Yeah,
chat up,
bring-
we'll share them because it's easier. Because Jeff
Let me
had
know.
something else.
Yeah.
Either we'll
Yeah.
get to it when we can because I'm afraid of my computer deciding
your
to take coffee
computer,
breaks
yeah,
with that. But Jeff,
You're running a 46.
yeah, I got to get your computer working. But
Oh,
Jeff,
yeah,
you were
I'm gonna
talking about the old
talk about
original movies. I was thinking you were talking about Phantom Menace. You know, because all that one, I think most people will agree. The first lightsaber battle, the one between Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn with Darth Maul, was probably one of the best fight scenes ever. Of
And
course,
that's because
Luke,
they got
John Williams' soundtrack made it. But go ahead, Sam.
the actor they got to play Darth Maul wasn't an actor. That guy was a martial artist. He was an expert
Yeah.
in his field, and
Ray
so he was
Park,
able to sell that combat in a way that previously had not been allowed. I mean, if you go back and look at the Obi-Wan Darth Vader lightsaber fight in A New Hope, it is almost laughable because the costume he's wearing is way too heavy. He can barely move. Like it just was they were
It was
just
two
getting
old guys
started.
hitting broomsticks.
I know it is.
Yeah.
Did you see
Yeah.
the fan edit where they redid it with new
Yes,
graphics?
I
It was wonderful.
Did I
was
loved the fan
awesome.
edit.
Well, Brian
was
is
so
pointing
awesome.
out. Brian's pointing out that Star Wars and Empire. By the way, welcome, Brian. Don't know if I said welcome earlier, but in the Eclectic Goat too. But Brian said Star Wars and Empire had a mandate from George that the lightsabers, and of course it was Empire, that the lightsabers were extremely heavy and must be held with two hands for wielding. And then he also said that Hamill said they filmed Empire a lot more advanced and flamboyant, and George made them refilm it, him holding the hilt with both hands.
Mm-hmm.
Where Vader could wield it limited with one hand but strikes with two-handed. Interesting.
So one of the other things that they branched out into once they got into Clone Wars is they would have different styles. Because like Ahsoka fights with almost a katana style, like the two swords, the Daisho set. And I don't know how I felt about that once they tried to start bringing in different sword and technique styles, because that really complicates it all. And because they really all still come back to being the same thing. And the Rebels really messed it up with the gun lightsaber. We're not even getting on that one.
I don't even know. Well, I don't even want to know about that one. Go ahead, Mark.
It was an interesting concept.
It's an interesting concept, but it breaks it breaks things.
It goes against
And
everything
who was the
that,
character
when you have them get away from having just one lightsaber apiece, and of the traditional colors, you start to open things up to basically dismantle what the Jedi stood for.
Mm-hmm.
The Jedi were very structural. They had a very strong tradition. The reason why they had green and blue lightsabers was very important. And then when you get the purple lightsaber, well, then fans are like, oh, well, now this opens up. Now they can have any color. No, the purple was very specific. It is the color between blue and red.
Yep.
And so thus it shows that he's channeling part of the dark side.
He's
into
actually
it.
starting to bleed his crystals.
And you look at how he fights and how he behaves. Mace Windu is quick to kill. And that's very Sith-like. And so, of course, he's going to have a purple one because it's bleeding. But now fans are like, oh, well, now we all have to have our own special crystals. We have to have our own special lightsabers. Special lightsabers was a breaking of tradition. That
It
was a Sith tactic. So when now you have all the Jedi doing it, it's like, nope. This is very problematic to your own lore.
Well, and I loved how there were aspects where the colors meant like palace guards had one color,
Gold. Yeah, it's the
healers had
gold.
like
Yeah.
your lightsaber said what type of a Jedi you were. And your color of your blade and things. And so you're right. When they start doing free for all, it's like, okay, well, nothing matters now. Let's throw the rule book out.
Well, you can always get you some blue milk at Galaxy's Edge, like Fallen Dave says, if you want to get
Gross.
constipated. But
Yeah.
yeah. Did you ever try it? I
Sabine
tried it
Wren,
once.
too. That's what drove.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
I was just saying, well, Sabine Wren, who some of the Disney Star Wars I did liked on TV, but when I didn't watch Rebels when it came out, and I started watching it, but I loved the Clone Wars and watched it with my kids. But then Sabine Wren, wasn't she just a Mandalorian in the Rebels show and never showed any
Yes,
Force powers?
she is Mandalorian by her ethnicity or planetary background. But she has no Force abilities, or at least she's not supposed to. So what Star Wars Rebels was trying to explore is, was it viable for an individual to wield a saber effectively without the Force? And that's something the books had pursued several times over. They would have individuals who had supposedly acquired a lightsaber of a deceased Jedi and were trying to use it, but they were less effective because they didn't have
the
Force
Force,
potential. Right? Yes. So, and the Mandalorian, the Darksaber, is because there's only one Mandalorian who was ever a Jedi Knight. And when he died, the Jedi insisted on keeping his gear, his lightsaber and things like that, and putting them into the library, the temple, to be memorialized. And the Mandalorians were offended by that, and they came and took it. And that started a dispute between basically a war between the Mandalorians and the Jedi. And so the reason why the Mandalorians have the gear they have, they've got them, they use the Beskar, they use the things they do, is because they were trying to counteract the Jedi's abilities and come up with gear and tech that would make them comparable in fighting a Jedi.
Yeah.
Which is all great lore and great background. And then when they added Sabine Wren in the live action show using the Force, all of a sudden, I thought that was just a big disappointment. Especially the combat scenes were so poorly choreographed. She's spinning around backwards, and you see the stormtrooper that's just waiting to swing until she can defend
that's
herself.
like the Last Jedi with the guards. I mean, it's like they were you could see them holding up. It wasn't a natural fight, and of course, why do you show your back to your enemy? But ahoy to Depot! Welcome aboard, sir.
Yeah,
good to see you. We're actually kind of redoing last night's show where Jeff wasn't able to make it, so we're kind of talking about a light version of the loss of the art of storytelling using Star Wars. And Jeff, feel free, you keep asking some questions, prod the discussion. If you and if you want to move it off in Star Trek, I know we got a lot of Star Trek fans out here tonight. So,
indeed, I have absolutely zero concept of the Star Trek world outside of the Abrams films.
Oh, really?
So,
well, that's
it was too dry for me, unfortunately. So I tried watching some Star Trek. It's like,
did
I
you watch
can't do
TOS
this.
or
And see, I grew up with both Star Wars and Star Trek equally.
Yeah.
They were both equally loved in my
So
immediate
did
and
I.
extended family.
Yeah.
And so I was one of those weird kids growing up because everyone was either a warrior or a Trekkie,
Yep.
and I was both.
Oh,
And
gosh.
like I remember my aunts arguing. These are my Italian aunts who were like, Italian women tend to think they run the family. We do really. But anyway, my Italian aunts arguing with each other about how it was going to be a destruction of Star Trek. There was a female captain. Because there shouldn't be a female captain. The captains should be male. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how I felt. Okay. But like, I grew up in a culture, in a background where strong women don't have to tell people they're strong. you know by the way they act. And so I don't like these strong female characters where you're told that. You're told, oh, this person's perfect. Like that's the issue I have with Rey, is she doesn't earn it. You see Mara Jade in those books, and she suffers, and she's got trauma, and she works for it. And there is a price to being this.
She was the Emperor's hand.
Yeah. But there's a price. She has paid a psychological and emotional toll for being that. And
Mhm.
as a woman, we're not wired the same way as guys are. There are some women who maybe it wouldn't impact them as much, but like it comes too easy. Like I know,
Oh,
having done martial arts and having been a security guard and having done these physical things with other men, I'm a tomboy. But even I know I'm going to get my butt kicked if I go up against certain guys. There is a time and a place to fight, and there's a time and a place to run.
right.
And like you just can't buy into Ray. She just doesn't
No.
feel real. She doesn't
Well,
feel real.
another character is Jaina Solo.
But then when you saw
Yeah.
Janeway, I'm gonna
Well,
do
let me
Star Trek,
let
Star
me
Wars
let,
together.
yeah, let me
Oh,
do one
Jaina
real quick
Solo?
here.
Okay.
Jaina Solo, because she's the same way. You know, she finally found love with a former Imperial, but she struggled. And who was it that she had to train with Boba Fett to go
Mhm.
against her brother, who became Darth
Yep.
Caedus, the Sith Lord. She had to
And
kill her own brother. You
well, and
know,
then we'll even
yeah,
see Tenelka, she's the
yeah.
Hapan Dathomirian princess.
Hmm.
There's a toll that this society of women who are really rather demeaning to men, it has taken a toll on their society to have
Yeah,
that
yeah.
dynamic. And it took a toll on her. Her arrogance and pride is the reason why she loses her arm.
Hmm.
And so it doesn't. I love how there's a balance with the women in the EU. And now some of them are completely poorly written, but
Right.
some of them, there's some real heft to them. Even
Yeah.
Isard, this woman is a psychopath.
Yeah.
But part of the reason why she's so powerful, Isard, is because she doesn't care. She
Oh, and
doesn't.
if you don't know, sorry, Sam, I apologize, cutting you off. For people that don't know, she's talking about Admiral Izard, which was a woman. Was she actually a Moff or just an admiral?
No, she was actually ISB. She was an internet. She was the security bureau. She was
Right,
intelligence,
right,
and she pulled a coup and
right.
took over.
Yes, yeah. She had to get rid of a lot of men, and folks, it just happened, and it's like you said, she had to be 3 times better than the men that were
But it was a
around because they
well-written
dismissed
character.
her. Yeah,
But it was mind games. She
it,
played mind games with people,
but
and
they
that's
didn't
how
have.
she got her power. Not
To your
because she
point,
was.
right, to your point, though, you didn't have to be told this is a strong woman character. She reveals her strength in her cunning and her abilities through
And the
the
fact that
natural.
she's freaking terrifying. She would kill anyone.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, Jeff, I will give you a word of advice. Since you did not come up really in the Trek side, you're more like me. I'm like you. Just smile and nod, and don't say Khan was meh. If you say Khan,
Oh,
the movie, the Star Trek 2 was meh.
them is fighting words.
No,
Yeah,
JT Kirk
don't.
gave me a face reveal and stared at me for the first time with that one. So,
Uh-huh.
just,
Really?
yes, exactly.
I don't blame him on that one.
We were on New Year's Eve, and he just like looked at me, and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, I'll go back and watch it again, and then I did like it the second
Wrath
time.
of Khan was one of the first ones I saw. I saw them out of order because again, I'm a millennial. Dude, Khan scared the crap out of me. I am more intimidated by psychologically manipulative and intellectually like strong villains than somebody who is just callous and powerful. Like
Well,
Thrawn.
Mhm.
Thrawn is intimidating as crap. Khan also intimidating as crap. Isard. Now
Mhm.
she starts to unravel later on in the game, and
Mhm.
she's less scary. But
Right.
I think the reason why Thrawn is so scary is because he's not evil.
And here's the thing, and he's very controlled, very calculating, like Izard was too.
gosh,
The
yeah.
difference, compare them to what we saw with Kylo Ren.
Oh gosh,
Moody
Kylo Ren's a
gets
whiny
mad and
baby.
yeah, exactly. When he went loose and they look, and he's destroying everything in there, and the stormtroopers are like, hey, we're going the other way. We're not going to get his wrath, you know. But see, that's another thing I think where in terms of the way that the sequels tried to do storytelling, they tried to take. It's like a lot of people when they don't stop joking, everything becomes a joke, that you lose the seriousness of what you're doing or what you're talking about or the topic.
Well, and
Sometimes
they take literary shortcuts. They take storytelling shortcuts.
Mhm.
They try to use things that can be effective in storytelling to convey weight, but they haven't earned the weight they're trying to convey. So people act like they're intimidated of Kylo Ren, but he's not really an
He's
intimidating
exactly.
character in the way he's written.
I think they
He-
mocked him though. They did. They made him a shell, a fake. Not really like Darth Vader when he first walked on the screen. You're like, holy crap, this guy's scary.
Yeah.
But he didn't have those emo moments like we saw with Kylo. And I think again, it's where writers are trying to be funny all the time when they really should.
Or they're trying to make
Yeah.
villains, they're trying to make bad guys relatable.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
bad guys cool. And some
Hey.
bad guys can be cool, but some
Yeah.
bad guys can just need to be scary.
They need to be bad, but let's see, like good, you'd appreciate it. WTF, Dadman? Star Trek 2 is bad and Olive
Okay,
Garden
Jeff,
good. You
are we
high?
completely off the 8 ball? Have we lost the plot?
Yeah.
No, it's in the right ballpark.
Okay. Yeah, let me take one
there
question
was,
here.
yeah, sure.
Jeff, let me take one question right here. Deepo asked, before I lose the track of it, has anyone read the Legends book, Tales of the Bounty Hunters? Yes, I did. It is a great one. We won't spend a lot of time on it right now, but so we can get forward with our discussion. But you saw Boba Fett. It explained a lot of backstories. It explained IG-88 getting to Bespin, why we see his frame left in the scene of the movies, and just really, it's really that and Tales from the Cantina.
I don't think Star Wars has to just be about Skywalkers, but I think it has to.
Right.
There is a vibe. There is a. Jeff will probably be able to say this better than I can, but there is something that makes Star Wars, and I think that is a code of ethics. Even the good guys and bad guys have their codes, and when they violate their codes, it just doesn't work anymore.
Right. And I think Deeple goes to your point there. Tales of the Bounty Hunters is not about Skywalkers. Tales from the Cantina aren't, including the one little dude with two horns that ends up getting killed by one of the others because he's too stupid to realize when you mate with them, they kill the male. So, that's, but see, it's beyond what we normally get and stuff. But it's my point with the Skywalker bloodline is that's where the future of the franchise should have gone. But you're right. It's bigger and goes beyond it with these type of books here.
I think the TV shows could have been something else. I think the movies needed to stay there.
Yeah,
that's me.
Exactly. All right, Jeff.
All right, Jeff, back to you, since obviously we went off the tangents.
No worries. That's why this is an open thing for people to kind of take with wherever. I'm just adding some points for the discussion to continue.
Yeah, and I appreciate it, Jeff. You're doing a fine job too at it. Thank you.
So George Lucas mentioned in an interview that that Star Wars was about the Skywalkers, very specifically, because to him it was a story about a family lineage and how it transformed the galaxy, went from a nobody slave to transforming it from the top down. But he came from the very bottom in that sense. And so it's an incredible plot line. But when you start to veer off of it, then you're left with merely trying to put something flashy onto the screen. And in that sense, the whole galaxy basically is open for you to do that. You have to have some sort of root to your entire story. The Skywalkers were that. The TV shows don't necessarily have to follow that, but it has to follow the same sort of structure. It has to be about something that is relatable. Family is relatable, and even though it's in a completely different galaxy. That's one of the reasons why a lot of the shows are focused primarily on an action sequence or a callback. And eventually, when we get to our next storytelling discussion, we're actually going to go into this concept, the idea of callbacks not being or references to something else in lore or in history or whatnot. That sort of stuff does not do well in a story. You have to have something that goes back to the morals, back to something that's familiar. And Star Wars, under Disney, just completely discarded that and decided they just wanted to do whatever they felt like.
Well, and I feel like that's probably why Mandalorian resonated in the first 2 seasons, is because you've got this father figure and this kid figure, and then even Cara Dune's character comes in as the almost, surrogate mom figure. You get this almost quasi pseudo family that's trying to figure out, and then you get the aunties and the uncles and all these different stops where you kind of get this quasi family around this child. You get these adult figures who are trying to protect this child, and so you get that family dynamic without having a family per se. And so I felt like it at least tried to bring in that feel, even if it wasn't the Skywalkers.
All right.
It
Let me say
tried-
good night to Legatus real quick. Good night, Legatus. Yes, go ahead,
Good
Jet.
night.
Sorry.
Ciao, Legatus.
Later.
The Mandalorian is an interesting one, because I remember when it was going into production, the number of people that were already like super hyped for it. They were talking about it left and right. Oh, the Mandalorian's going to transform everything. Oh, if you only knew what was in the books and whatnot. Oh, this is going to be the best. It's going to replace the Jedi. And people were hyping it up so much. And then it came out, and I couldn't stand it. Because the Mandalorians directly went against something that I remember hearing in a George Lucas interview a while back, which mentioned that the Mandalorians were an extinct race. And then it was Jango Fett who brought it back through the clones. And
So
sure, that didn't necessarily stay that way because the books and the TV show changed that.
yes.
But what you've now suddenly done, and this is why it's so very frustrating to somebody who focuses on the original films,
Yes.
it upset the original lore to
Yeah.
the point of where it suddenly became, wait, Jedi, shouldn't you have been aware that you're cloning something that is a Jedi killer? And it should have been like a red flag. To the Jedi, it was not a red flag. Why? Because it was a secret. It's almost like they forgot about it. And so that's why I thought it was a great idea. But then suddenly the TV show changed all of that.
Yes.
So that was the first problem I had with The Mandalorian. Second off was the pacing. It felt cheap. It felt trivial in a lot of the stuff. And yes, there is that family dynamic. But what I would have really liked to have seen is something that leaned into trying to focus on the reestablishment of the Mandalorian culture.
Yeah.
And Grogu, unfortunately, introduces a whole lot of problems. I'm not going to go to it right now
Yeah.
because we could talk about Grogu's mistake
Oh, Grogu is
forever.
yeah.
But
Why
I
can't he
think
talk when he's 50 years old, please?
I think they should have made him a teenager.
Well, they should have had enough product out when they first brought him out instead of, oh my gosh, we don't have enough.
Well, and they ruined the mystique of Yoda and Yodel's species. The mystique of that
Yeah.
species was that you had only ever seen one male and one female, and they were freaking old. And you don't
Yep.
know what planet they're from. You don't
Right.
know anything about them. And so you get the feeling that they are a near extinct species themselves. And so all of the sudden, this baby showing up, you're like, did Yodel and Yoda have a kid? Like, you're like, where the crap did this guy come
Yeah,
from?
but plus, it's so ridiculous. It would take 50 years to go to maturity. I mean, maybe they could have been like, a little bit longer, but not being able to speak. I mean, we have,
I know.
our babies start to speak, maybe some as young as 6 months or 8,
See,
at
the
least by a year. But it kind of you ruin that mystique and you ruin. It doesn't make sense, right? That he's a
No.
50-year-old,
Yoda-
toddler.
Yeah. Yoda
You know
died
what-
at 900 years.
yeah.
And so technically, after 50 years, this character should be at least in the early teens.
Yes.
But
Exactly.
You would think, yeah. The problem though with I have Mandalorian is because they destroyed everything with The Last Jedi. It's like all roads now end up to what we got at the end with Ray Palpatine. I mean Ray Skywalker.
Yeah.
and it's sometimes some people I can't get over it. It's like that'd be perfect for our Thursday night show because I can't. It's something it bothers me to the point where I can't enjoy the other stuff. I enjoyed some of Mandalorian, like with Luke's lightsaber,
And
but
that's
attack. But the best thing I liked of the Mandalorian was the very first episode or second episode when I finally my lifelong dream actually happened, where I got to see an IG battle, IG droid actually fight and in action. Because in Empire Strikes Back, they couldn't move the thing; it had no ability to move it all. But with modern technology, seeing an IG, God, that was a dream come true.
That was cool. So here's the thing. I actually think that Star Wars lost the plot sooner than most people think, because George Lucas opened up, and I benefited from this personally, but he opened up Star Wars to be a free-for-all in a lot of ways with the EU. Because if you actually read the EU extensively, as I have books on my shelf right now that contradict each other in lore and in facts and how things function. And for someone who is outside of the Star Wars community, those contradictions seem to say, oh, we can do whatever we want.
But see, the hard part with
those contradictions still abide to a theme.
Okay, because see, what I've been told is that everything had to go through Lucas himself and Lucasfilm. They did it. So how did they overcome that?
There's 3 different timelines on how Han and Leia marry.
Okay,
did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Didn't Lucas say it when I'm not a huge, I don't have a huge knowledge base on the EU, but he said some of the stuff is canon, some isn't, and
no, it's all technically canon. There's different timelines. Most people have bought into the Timothy Zahn timeline and have tied into that, but there were offshoots that were still official and were still labeled Lucas, but they completely contradict those timelines. For example, I have The Hand of Darth Vader, I think is what it's called. Anyway, it's a trilogy that supposedly is how Han and Leia end up getting married. And it was written for, it's a YA, and it was written for YA. I got it when I was 12. And it's simplified. It's got artwork in it. It's takes place on Cloud City and some other stuff, and it is completely separate from the Zahn and the Stackpole and all of those ones. It's fun. It's a great story. It doesn't carry the same weight as some of these other timelines do. And most people, there is a recognized primary timeline that most fans adhere to, and it's the Zahn stuff. Yeah. But there are offshoots. iJedi has contradictions in it to some of the other stuff. Children of the Jedi contradicts other things. So the EU was already cracking the single thread concept that the movies had established.
Right.
And so I understand why Disney wanted to say, we're going to do our own thing. The problem was they didn't do it well at all.
Well, see, you mentioned those books. I come from Courtship of Princess Leia, where Han is fighting off, which is Han's pushing off competing with the Happen Prince and stuff like that. And yeah, that's all there. So let's Jeff, while you think about some more questions, if there's anything immediate, go ahead. Let me let Mark share a couple things real quick. We also got a question for Deeple I want to come back to in a few minutes. But Mark, here's your.
This is a Star Wars. I just grabbed a few I searched my Google Photos for Chewbacca. This is my son at age 5 or 6 there, maybe. And we went to, this is in Boston at the Sci-Fi Science. What museum is it? The Sci-Fi Museum or museum? Some museum
I'm
in
so
Boston.
jelly right now.
Yeah, I can't remember what the museum was. It might be the Science Museum, but they had a Star Wars exhibit. So that was just a cool picture of the. I think those are actual costumes. I'm assuming those are actual costumes. I can't remember.
I think I'm saying the wrong author. I'm muttering to myself. Ignore me, Mark.
That's okay. Yep. So that's just that's the real Chewie and the real Han there.
That's so cool.
Is that one of those tour? Oh, that must be one of those tour guides in the museum. When you put the
but that is old. I did that in elementary school.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And this popped up from a Comic Con,
Lunchbox.
a
Yeah.
Chewy lunchbox. Don't chew your food. Yep, yep. And this is I didn't share the audio, but that's okay. But this is Chewy and
And Mark bought
Home
one of
Depot.
these recently.
Yeah, well, this is when I was in the store. See that box there?
Yeah.
There was one left. I'm like, I really should have bought Chewy. I'm like, I should have shared the audio, but I'm like, darn it, I should have. I'm like, yeah, it's expensive. But then I walk by the sticker there. It's half price. It's
So I guess you had to assemble it yourself.
$179. And then it was funny thing was like all these kids were looking at Chewy and like, everyone that came to the store was like checking Chewy out. And I'm like, there's one left. I'm like, if I don't buy it, I'm going to be in trouble because I missed out on Goofy. So
Yeah. So
There's
how hard was that to put together?
it's not that bad once you know how to do it. So
Yeah.
Chewy is
Oh my gosh, is that Life Day, Chewy?
7.7.5 feet tall. Yep.
No, he's
7.7
missing the
inches.
red cape
Yeah.
Yes.
or cloak or whatever it is.
Still not as tall as Oliver Ryu, who was a Canadian that played for Florida this year. So who was 7'9"
That's
inches
right.
tall.
Could he
Yeah.
dunk without jumping?
Yeah, he barely jumps. He just reaches up and he can dunk it just about without getting off the ground. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Okay.
So these are the instructions. Yeah. So the
Oh,
instructions
wow.
actually on the box too. If you lose the paper instructions, but setting it up for the first time takes a long time. But if I don't, it's the same thing. Like if you had done it, once you know how to do it, you could do it probably pretty quickly. So it's basically just like a skeleton shell here with the costume. So that's his torso, and then
Yeah.
you can never fit the stuff back in the box as well as they do when it's shipped. But so it's just like a skin that you're putting on. That's my brother-in-law with Chewy.
Oh my
He helped
gosh.
put it together on
Crud,
Christmas
that's
Eve.
tall.
Yes.
Yeah. He's
Now
in the
you're-
chair there.
Who reacted more, your mom or your wife?
My mom was really angry at first. She was like, "What the-"
Oh,
She
I'd be
was very
happy.
angry.
I'd have given it a hug.
Yeah, but then she realized, she's like, I saw how happy you were. So, but she's like, who said you could put this? She was tired. It was late on Christmas Eve. And what the hell are you doing with this thing? And,
It brought
house?
back from Mark
She
as
was
a
mad that I
child.
bought
Yeah.
it. I kind of said, well, I'm going to sell it on eBay. She's like, you don't need this, Now she's come to terms with it. Yeah.
Isn't it
that's just
still at
good
her
on Mom.
house?
Yeah, that's her house. Yeah. So I put it. I don't think it would fit in my house with the ceiling. I think it's too tall for the ceiling. I got to measure my ceilings to see if I could fit it because you can't put it outside. But what I want to
Yeah.
do for Halloween is have them in the
Yeah.
front
I'm
yard
wondering
for
where the
Halloween.
bowcaster is.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah,
cool,
well,
Tom. Tom, what do
I
you
gotta
think of
get a
this?
bowcaster.
What do you think about what we've been talking about? What do you think about this?
It's
'Cause
freaking awesome.
yeah. Wouldn't you like one?
I know.
This-
It needs
It-
a
I
bowcaster.
had one. I would have to figure out a way to put it on top of a friggin' two Roombas.
well,
Oh.
tell Linda you want one for next time they come out to Home Depot.
I don't have to tell her that. I just go get it.
Ah, there you go. Okay. Well, look, that's 7'7".
Listen, I learned to
Chewy.
ask for forgiveness, not permission.
That's a good way to do, Tom. That's a good way. Ask for.
Have you seen my Have you
forgiveness.
seen my guitar collection and other stuff?
I've
You-
seen
you-
it.
You
I've
think
seen it,
I
yeah.
haven't got the doghouse for that?
Yeah.
In my marriage, I would be the one to come home with that, and I'd be the one in the doghouse. Sergeant Dad'd be like, "Really,
But
really?"
Mark, pause it a second. Pause it right there.
Actually,
I have met Mark in real life. Mark is like a foot taller than me, at least 6 inches to 12 inches taller than me. He can. I'm a dwarf compared to him, but that's how tall that stupid thing is.
I was almost
Wheel.
6 feet at one point.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at this going, okay, if I have that thing, can I get away with getting a life-size Jason doll to really screw with people?
Oh,
Hawk in
that'd
one
be cool.
window and a Jason doll in the other.
The coolest thing that I had an opportunity, but of course I didn't have enough connections to pull it off. Many years ago, there was when the Phantom Menace came out. Pepsi, or I think it was probably Pepsi. They were, having their drinks and all, but they had these R2 coolers,
Yes,
with the
they
plastic
did.
little top.
Yeah,
And
those are
I would have
cool.
loved to have gotten one of those for parties, or just have it in the house somewhere. So
My brother has an R2D2 cookie jar that I keep saying I'm going to steal from him.
wait, there's a R2 unit too, Mark.
No, I wish I could have had an R2 unit,
No,
but
I
I
want
could
an
never get
R2D2.
my hands on one.
Is
When
there-
I was
on
walking
the
around
Pentium.
Comic Con, the R2, this latest Orlando Comic Con, whatever the hell was, MegaCon.
Yeah.
The R2 units that they built and had rolling around.
Oh,
This guy rolled into this one area with an orange one, and he had it synchronized where everything looked like the panels were all popping out, everything. It was a friggin' amazing. And like a dumb butt, I didn't take a video of it because I was just too enthralled with, okay, how the heck did you get that to work? How did you
Not
do this?
amazing.
What's it running off of all these geek questions? I forgot to take pictures of it.
Yeah, there was a Home Depot R2 unit, and it just was unobtainium. It was just
Oh,
anytime
yeah.
it appeared, it was sold out. And my daughter, who wasn't too happy with Chewie, she's playing like, I'm not taking
Man,
a picture with her. Her boyfriend works for Home
Oh.
Depot. I'm like, Sam, can you find me an R2 unit or find me a Goofy? Like he's like, I know when they
got
go on
to issue an
sale, but I can't
apology.
tell you.
I got to issue an apology, but Real Wade Nation rated us on the Twitch side. Sorry, Wade, I didn't see it. I didn't get the notification, but Wade, thank you for. Hopefully, you're still here for the raid, and thank you for the raid on the Twitch side. Sorry about that, Mark, because I'm like,
Oh, that's okay.
that's the one thing with
Roughly
StreamYard.
how-
It doesn't really
Doesn't it
work.
show you the
with rates and
Twitch?
stuff. Yeah, it just shows the Twitch. Like I just put a comment in, but it doesn't give you the notifications when you're rating and being rated and stuff. So, but thank you, Wade.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah.
There's
But
the
yeah,
controls for
So
Chewie.
your daughter
it's-
didn't like it either.
Well, she was joking. She's like, "What do you
Oh,
mean take
okay.
a picture with this?" You know, but
Yeah, but that's
she's not
a
a big Star
talent to
Wars
make
fan.
all the way in your house, man. You gotta, yeah. Brian said there is a Vader, a Stormtrooper, and an R2D2. Wow.
yeah,
I wanted the R2D2 so bad.
the R2 was the most popular one. Yeah, R2
Yeah.
was uber popular.
But
gosh.
because
I think
R2 is
this was-
awesome.
Yeah, and then you could leave him out year round, and like he's not too big. He's pretty big R2
Well,
in person,
well-
but you could have put him in, like the entertainment
I would have
room
kept
or
him
the-
in my house year round.
Look at
Yeah.
Jess's comment right there. You can dress him for different holidays and keep him up year round. Yes.
Yeah, good idea, Jess. Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh man.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
that's
found
his-
the
We have
I found the
Chewbacca the
alternate
Easter Bunny.
universe. I found the alternate universe book. I've got it off my
Okay.
shelf.
All right. Well, we'll talk about it in a second. Let's Mark come through. Finish.
Yeah,
We'll
this
get
is just the skin of Chewie, which is kind of scary, but that's the torso.
That's
So it kind of like it's a,
Yeah.
a costume that,
Oh,
like
sure.
it's like basically putting a costume on the scarecrow. Here it is. Yeah, that's what I show. Like this, you drop
Yeah.
his pants,
Oh god.
drop Chewie's drawers, but you can see how as big as it looks. It's they just have the chest here, and it kind of just hangs, and his arms are wires with foam.
That's not what I thought it
Yeah.
would be. Look like. Yeah.
Yeah, but to save weight, and you really don't need. But I mean, it looks so impressive, right? If I just flip back here.
Yeah.
It looks uber impressive. Like you'd never know that there's really not much to Chewie, but there's like
Yeah.
foam in his arms. But the way
Yeah.
they did a great job designing it, because you don't want
Yeah.
you want to keep it as light as possible. Like
Now,
yes,
Tom,
yeah.
Tom, would you rather have Vader, R2, or Chewbacca, or Stormtrooper?
I refuse to answer that question.
Okay.
I don't. R2 then Chewie.
All right.
I honestly, if I have to, I'd go with Vader first.
Yeah, I like
I
that.
can see that. You totally feel like a Vader guy.
Yep.
You don't want to sword fight me, Sam.
There we go. Oh,
you know, one of these
bobblehead.
days I will though.
Baba Chewie.
Baba Chewie.
Baba
Yeah.
Chewie.
Yeah, so I have all these. That's my crash. I have all the characters are on Charlie Brown's manger. With
I had a
Snoopy and
white
the baby
Mustang.
Jesus.
That my daughter called Chewbacca because of the way it sounded when you hit the
Oh, the noise. Yeah.
thing. So I called she affectionately called the car the White Wookie.
That's cute.
Wookie
Nice.
Stang.
This, I
Nice.
have all my Christmas ornament collection, so that's just a few of the Chewies from the collection. But yeah.
Brian is saying that 3PO could be this Christmas.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense, Brian. Yeah.
And I met Anthony Daniels once. Great guy, worth the autograph cost. So what is this, a Christmas ornament?
Yeah, that's a Christmas ornament. Yep, yep.
Oh,
So just
cool.
some of the Chewies. Yep. And no, I did, and then we had a squirrel while I'm sharing my screen. Well, let me share this while I'm sharing. I did have a squirrel encounter.
Yeah, I remember
I
you
saw
put
that.
that there.
Just
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to show that now.
Yeah, let's
or I
go
can-
ahead. Let's go ahead. Let's do
Yeah,
it right
yeah.
here, and then we'll get back to topics with Jeff. And Sam's got her book. So
Yeah, let me.
Yeah,
grab,
I'm not joking when I have bookshelves of
Yeah.
Star Wars books.
Yep. All right. Well, folks.
let me
Well,
just pull this
Whoa.
up.
well. Let's hold off on it just 1 second. Jeff has
Sure,
got to go.
Oh,
Got
Yeah,
to go.
sorry about that, folks. I just realized the time.
All right. Well, Jeff,
it's
thanks
not
for
late
coming
there.
in.
You're fine.
But it's 11:14 in Florida. What
Yeah.
time is it in Alaska?
Indeed. Well, it is 7:14.
Yep.
I have to go
Four.
meet with some.
It's still
go
light
meet with
there, isn't it?
relatives. Yeah, well, I got to go meet with relatives. See, we still got a day to live up here.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh, you want to have a life?
You can't have a life, dude. Come on.
Yeah, indeed. Isn't
No, I
that
know.
fascinating?
I know, but Jeff,
Although-
thank you.
One of the things
Go ahead, Sam.
I kind of want
I
to
was gonna say, Jeff, thank you for your pointers and directing the conversation. You had it. It's fun to talk to somebody who understands the craftsmanship of writing, of story crafting so well, because you have insights that I don't think I always think of.
Well, glad to be able to contribute to the
Yeah.
conversation. Much appreciated.
Jeff, thank you
Um,
for coming by tonight. And I do want to tell everybody we do plan on doing a much more expansive discussion on this at a later time.
Indeed, I didn't make
for
those
us to
40
set up.
slides for nothing.
I know, and that's
wanna
a
see
follow
them.
up to the first one, folks. So, but Jeff, you want to promote yourself? Anything you got coming up, or do you want to? What any other final thoughts before you head out?
Something to just remember, though, regardless with there's a lot of people that get frustrated with the modern Star Wars, but just a reminder, there is actually a substantial audience for the new Star Wars now. I've
Yeah.
met a couple of people where they only like it, and they're people that actually are pretty level-headed, and I have actually been a bit baffled by that. But at the same time, after kind of watching a lot of the stuff and trying to see it through their eyes, you know what? I can agree with them in a lot of things. But I think that maybe that's a bit of the bias that comes when you're familiar with something. A lot of the people that like the original films cannot stand the prequels. A lot of people like the prequels, also like the original, but they can't stand the sequels. And this cycle seems to be just, continuing. So despite the fact that we can still, have good fun sparring with it, and there are some legitimate arguments to for or against all these different things in Star Wars or Star Trek or whatnot, there's still a generation that actually still does like it, even if we might not be the ones that are the target audience.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, I agree.
We
Jeff,
don't
thank you
have
again.
anything real special coming up other than like trying to get that story stream up and running, and maybe later on this year I'll actually have something to legitimately promote. So until then, just stay tuned.
Well, at least you're back to Fortnite, though. At least you're back to
Yes.
Fortnite these days, and
Yeah,
we'll have to hook up
join
for
in on one of your
Fortnite.
games sometime.
Absolutely, Jeff. Well, you have a good evening. Best to your family, and have a good evening. So, okay.
Take
All
care,
right,
Jeff.
see you all later.
All right,
Night.
guys.
Later, Jeff.
All right.
Or good morning.
Yes. Good to see you, Jeff. All right. Brian said that. I'll
Sorry.
take you.
This little outro thing.
He actually walked off the set. I've never had anybody walk off the set, so I'll go ahead and remove him. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, Brian, and Brian's right. People grew up with new stuff, had their day down the road. I will say that's true because when JJ took over Star Trek, I was like, what's the big deal? It made it
I'm
more
gonna go on
modern.
camera for a second to show Sam something
Okay.
because she's talking about a book, but I have a weird book. I don't understand this.
Oh. Wait, which one is that?
What's it say?
Oh.
Heir to the Empire. That's the
I've got that
trilogy.
one.
Ah,
Oh my gosh, you have that copy?
Is it?
I'm so jealous.
It's the Micro Machines book.
Oh, cute.
ah,
Yeah.
nice. Mark
Not
Is it from
Mark would love
Japan?
that
Is
too.
Or it's just your camera's
Oh.
reversed.
Yeah.
That's
It's my
so
camera's
cool.
reversed and my
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yep. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, that's the Japanese version.
Yeah.
It's, it's going
Nice,
backwards,
nice,
yeah.
Tom. Nice, very nice. Glad you're
Micro
feeling better
Machines
to
are
show
cool
that.
stuff. Yeah.
Well,
But-
I had to get that because she said she had
Yeah.
a book, and
I've got
I
both.
had all these Micro Machine collection ones, and when we moved, a lot of them went bye bye.
Yep. Well, let
Aw.
me finish up with this with Brian's point here, because I was saying, oh well, so what about Star Trek? You know, with JJ taking over and all, and then all of a sudden he came for Star Wars. So I kind of
No.
relate to that. You know, the new stuff eventually will be thrown out, and how will they respond with it? You know, your day will come, and because that always stuck with me after, especially the Last Jedi. Is like, look, I kind of blew off all these Star Trek people. Like, what's the big deal? And then look what happened to my franchise. You know, it can happen. So very good point with that.
Sending some pictures to Sam now.
Absolutely.
I just threw something in the squirrel X.
Right.
fitness.
Sam, I know you're limited on time. We're over 2 hours right now, 2.5 hours, 15 minutes. So I want to keep you on through the end of it. We're not going to do Where in the World tonight or Where in the USA, but I do want to give more, y'all, any final thoughts on the Star Wars discussion? Yes, Wade, love Darth Maul. Hey, thank you, and thank you for the way
But
the
he
raid
should have
on the
stayed
YouTube
dead.
side. Yes, he should have died only once, but Wade, thank you for the
Yeah.
Wade, thank you for the raid on Twitch. Appreciate it, dude. Hope you're doing well tonight. So let me let Mark show this. So we'll maybe go about 15 minutes more, Sam. Would that be okay? Can you stay around that long?
Okay.
All right, or
We'll
close
make
to it.
you.
We'll
It means
get
I
in there.
won't be
This
going
is
to
a-
bed till midnight, but sure.
Well, hey, you came on with us. You're a party person.
I did. I knew what I was signing up for.
Sergeant Dad's home now, and bonding time. So
And the kids have the mutiny has stopped or slowed
It
down.
seems
at
like
least.
it's settled down over there, right?
Yeah,
it
because
doesn't sound
Dad's
like a
home.
movie theater.
Dad's
Yeah.
home. All right, Mark's going to show us a squirrel encounter. So let's see this.
Yeah, I was looking at my kitchen window. I'm like, wow, this squirrel is like way up in the tree. And I kind of missed it. He was actually leaning, like lying down, face down, grabbing the whatever berries or whatever's on the end of the tree, like at the very end, like almost like he was gonna fall off. And I'm like, oh,
Right.
and I went out. He kind of saw me and he kind of changed his position. But it was really cute up there. And I was like, oh,
Have you
God,
ever
I
heard
just
them
missed it.
talking, though, Mark?
Oh my gosh, yes.
They whisper, "Dadman wants eggs and bacon."
Dude, no.
Oh, that they do have
Yeah.
that talk too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They
they scream at me and the dogs.
They
Yeah.
can scream or they can whisper. I don't think they can do anything else.
No.
but see how high up the
They
squirrel
throw
is?
nuts
It's
at
like all the
people.
way-
They don't throw nuts at me.
I have
Well,
an
one-
acorn tossed at my ass.
They ate my blackberries though.
Oh
They eat
wow. Well,
everything,
what
right?
we
Yeah.
saw, what we think we saw, we couldn't get a good copy video of it, but my brother-in-law actually kind of Googled it to see. We think that we saw a squirrel carrying a baby squirrel by our campsite the other day and then up a tree.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
But
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was, we couldn't really get a good shot. We're like, what's it carrying? What's it carrying? And the best we could see, because you could see the black stripe
Mhm.
at the back to you. So that's what we thought, was that they were carrying the baby around, which was really, really, really neat. Anyway, question. Let me see, Tom. I'm going to try to bring these images up that you have here. Let's see if we can.
You can. They're just the pictures from that book. It shows.
Yeah,
It should show Mara Jade.
Mhm.
yeah,
I'm so jelly. I love
Big
that.
old blue guy.
yeah.
You know who that is.
Ron.
Thrawn, yes. And who's the
Blue
last one I
guy.
sent there? Who else is in that book?
Well,
Wedge.
the
See,
Wedge
I
is
made
in there.
yeah.
Oh, was the crazy Jedi dude? What's his name again?
George Seabath.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a clone also. Remember?
George.
Yep.
He was a clone
was.
from the outbound flight. Tom, I'm not going to be able to show him because I'd have to copy him. We'll save him for another time.
It's
But,
fine. I only sent them so Sam could go.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
I know. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, if I didn't have all my other people I talked to on chat, I'd share it right there. But I'd have to move it around, and we're going to cut out
You
in just
got
a moment.
Mara Jade. I love Mara Jade.
I know. I love Gina Solo though.
Jaina
I
Solo is
really-
awesome. I actually, weirdness. I was starting the application to audition for her when he was looking for preliminary casting before he sold it. When I
wow.
was, yeah, I sent in an audition papers for Revenge of the Sith, and I started audition papers for
Right.
Jaina Solo.
I love that.
I never finished them.
Oh man.
I know. Let me.
I didn't make it past. I made it.
Mhm.
I didn't make it past the first level of screenings for Revenge of the Sith because I couldn't get my mom to sign off and letting me go
Oh man.
do it.
Hey, at least your mom didn't. My mom didn't sign off for me getting a job with Microprose before they got bought out.
My mom
Yeah.
was right though. She
Yep.
couldn't, as a single mom and a
Yep.
school teacher, she couldn't have managed me on a set like that. Not at 16. And I
No,
should not have been on a set by myself at 16. That would have been
Oh,
bad.
Yep. Well, let's hit. Let's see if I got enough time. I got one more thing I want to show, but I can hold it for another time. But Deeple, so we got about 10 minutes. Deeple asked this question earlier. Out of curiosity, favorite villain from a TV show or movie? Tom, I'll let you go first on this one.
I got to go last because I got to think about that for a second.
Okay, Mark, you're obviously probably got one right off the.
Yeah, well, I'd probably say in Star Trek has got to be Khan.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Straight
And I
up.
got to see I got to see the world premiere, and I got to meet Leonard Nimoy June 3rd, 1981, which is pretty cool.
Well, you do know that
I
Shatner
wasn't
does some
alive, but whatever.
Shatner does some tours where they play the screening of Wrath of Khan,
Yeah,
and
I
then
wish I
he
could
has
see
an
that.
interview
Yeah.
and a meet and greet after. They've come
He
through our
needs to
town
come
a time or
visit
two.
our military base. I want to meet
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
That'd be
Well,
awesome,
Mark,
yeah.
but if you expanded it beyond just Khan or Trek,
Yeah,
just
trying to think
overall, what is your favorite villain?
I mean, if you went to the horror genre, I mean, would Freddy? I love Freddy Krueger, but he almost got comedic.
Yeah.
At some point.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of. Let's see, who else would be a really scary. The Exorcist is one of the all-time scariest movies. I can't watch it again, but of course that's quote unquote
Right.
the devil, and I guess Hannibal Lecter is one of the great villains that scares the crap out of you, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Mark
that
is
portrayal.
Mark is my age, Jess. So
Yeah.
Mark, I was on the space panel yesterday on Anna's channel, and it was like I'm the old fart on the crew. Tom,
old
Tom and I were the old farts. So,
Yeah, I'm the baby. I'm always
Yeah,
the baby
yeah.
when I hang out with y'all.
exactly. I
Yeah.
love the fact you use
Yep.
y'all. Sam, what about you? What's your favorite villain? Any genre, any movie, whatever. What's your favorite villain? Bad
I'm
guy.
struggling to think of stuff right now just because I'm getting tired. But I'll tell you what scares me most is the intellectual savvy ones, the
Mhm.
ones that are not, like I said, Vader doesn't scare me as much as Thrawn scares me. And if you have to take Khan out of the equation, Q actually bugs me so much more.
Wow.
than,
Very cerebral. Yeah.
yes, intellectual villains do a number on me more than physically intimidating ones.
Gotcha. Tom, did you come up with something?
Yep, Lord Baltar from the original Battlestar.
Ah,
Oh, yeah,
Baltar,
okay.
yes. Yeah, which apparently he was supposed to be killed off, wasn't he, in like the first episode or something?
Yeah,
But they
character.
changed it.
And
Yeah.
they kept him. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
kinda-
I'm going. OG one. I'm not going with this Gaius crap.
No, that's fine. I agree with you.
He did a good role, but
Yeah, I did okay with the reboot, which was weird for me that I actually could enjoy it. But it was really pissing me off at sometimes with the political wambly blambly. I thought they made Apollo 2 bleeding heart liberal. I mean, I don't care about the gender swaps and all, but they made Apollo like disrespect his dad and all this stuff. And I'm like, that was not what
Nope.
we got in the original. There was respect. Again, changing the dynamics of characters. We got to have this disrespect and all. Yeah, okay, Brian. Yeah, because the original Battlestar Galactica was, I
Yeah.
guess, an original release film, and then he killed him in that, and then they changed it.
but the
Kind of like
series-
Buck Rogers. Buck Rogers had a theatrical.
Buck Rogers
release.
was awesome too. Yeah,
Yeah, I know. All right, folks.
I'm
well,
just
we're
showing my age.
Go ahead. Yeah, I know. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Appreciate everybody coming in. Jeff for coming in, leading us a discussion on a little bit from what we had last night. Tom, Mark, Sam jumping in here. So, because we're about round up for the night. So, Sam, since you have to leave, it's probably a good point for us. And Tom, I know goes to bed. Mark, sleep is a vampire. He stays up all
I don't
night.
go to bed, but yeah, we want to
Yeah.
leave him wanting more, right?
Yeah, exactly. But Tom, what's going on with you and up with you these days?
Well, I've been trying to do some more music. And
man.
I've been popping on people's live streams. I've been all over the place. Like, as I use my tagline, I'm like a bad rash. I'm getting to be everywhere.
Yep. There you go. As long as it's not like Star Trek Discovery or STD, like
Well,
I always
hey,
said.
listen,
If you got
I
penicillin
did some
for it,
more
it's bad.
thinking. I did some more thinking.
Oh,
And
cool.
do any of you remember Space 1999?
Oh,
of
I
course.
got it. I've got it. I
Dragon's
need to watch
Domain
that.
is
Yeah.
one of the scariest
Wasn't
episodes
it-
I ever
I'm
watched in
trying
my
to remember
life.
the name of the guy. Wasn't it Malik or something like that?
Okay, I think I've heard of that one.
Well, what were you asking which character?
I think
The
the
main
main antagonist,
Mar-
if I remember correctly, was like a Malik or something like that.
Well, they would always. It was more of the monster of the week in that show.
Yeah.
That was Martin Landau.
Yeah.
It was John Koenig, the commander. But it was
think it was
more- the second season was definitely like Monster of the Week.
Yeah. Well,
it was Gary
go ahead, Tom.
Sunquist. I can't remember his name.
Well, I'm looking at the cast now. Catherine
Yeah.
Schell was Maya. She was the alien that was on season 2 when the show really changed direction. So it was really the TV show UFO was kind of transformed into Space 1999.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
What-
it was like 1975 to 77.
Yeah. So
Jess is also saying MASH, the movie and TV show, don't match either. And
Yeah.
Brian talks about Tiger Man was killed in Buck Rogers' film and brought back in a different. Yeah, because Dalo loved Tiger Man. You had him in the TV show, but that was a show that really flipped in the second season. I mean, it was like a Tylenol flying through space and with that old dude, and we didn't get the real Wilma Deering that we got in the first season, and it just.
Well,
And then we had Hawkeye. So
yeah.
And,
yeah,
and Sam's going, shit, these guys are old.
yeah.
Yeah. I actually can track on it though.
Yep.
I hang out with enough old people. I'm just joking.
Yep. There you go. Oh, gosh.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I
Well,
See if she
Tom,
gets
they-
a Christmas card.
Folks,
In all honesty, I think I'm slightly older than Dadman's kids, but I could probably still be your kid. I am younger than probably Tom's kids.
no, you're
Probably
pretty good
about
older
the
than
same
my
age as
kids.
Mark's kids.
No, you're about 14 years
my-
old than my kids, so you're a little bit further than that.
Yeah.
my daughter's 26 now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a bit older than your kids.
Mine
too.
and Mark's kids are close to the same age and stuff. But folks, go sub to Tom's channel. Somebody, Tom, get your link out there. Make sure and encourage him.
My link. Oh boy.
Yeah. Folks, go check him out. And his music, his rocket launch is always a good thing. So, Mark, what about you? What have you got going on?
Well, we of course will be on for Sunday Night Geekery tomorrow night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, and food enabling, and probably some Daredevil talk. And I didn't see Mario, but we'd talk about that a little bit. And there was another new show this week. Well, Monarch I've been watching. Legacy of Monsters, which is pretty darn good. And whatever else pops up. So
Right.
hopefully you
If you can get your link in there real quick. Here's Tom's link here.
Thank you. Yeah.
There's Tom's link right there. Of course, like you said, yeah, your odd channel. Listen, folks, I tell you, follow me on Twitter because I keep having people that actually on the panel that tell me they're not getting my notifications.
Oh,
They
YouTube
actually-
always screws up.
They
Yeah,
they
it
get
does,
my
yeah.
wife's notifications when she goes live, but not me. And everybody says it, and there's just nothing I can do about it. Not last but not least, we got Sam Wolf here. Sam, what about you? See, there's Mark's link too, also right there. Sam, go ahead. You got the speech down.
Well, I just did. Sorry, now I'm getting tired and yawning.
Yeah.
I just did my YouTube live stream, my monthly book club, but I am still sticking with the whole military stuff. Interviewing veterans and sharing their stories. Military spouses sharing their stories and experiences as well. I've got panel discussions, individuals, and then like resources. And so basically, if you're interested in military history or travel or lots of different stuff, we cover everything. Because military life is, well, like normal life. It's just we have an extra variable of uncertainty and mayhem. So, yeah, but it's just basically all things military history, family, that sort of stuff. And I have passed 100 subscribers.
Woohoo! Yay!
There we go.
So
Sweet.
yeah. and I'm really excited about that. I had my single most views in one day, which was almost 1,000
Wow.
a
Way to
couple
go,
weeks
yeah.
ago.
Well, that's good.
What was it on?
Some 2 reels. I put up reels. Reels are actually, they really do get more hits than long form videos.
Yeah.
You mean a
So
short or a short? You're talking
yeah,
shorts?
shorts. Sorry,
Shorts.
reels
Just
is what they
checking,
call
'cause
them on Facebook. Shorts.
Yeah,
Or
I'm kind of
Instagram,
I'm an
yeah.
old dude, so I'm like, wait, did they add something new that I don't know
Yeah.
about?
No.
Yeah, that's why I just got
so-
nervous.
Yeah,
Well,
what
folks,
am
Keep
I
calling them
missing?
reels. They're shorts. No. So
Yeah.
what somebody told me, I was talking to some other family history people, family history YouTubers, and they were saying and this was something I think Mark you told me too. So I heard it from lots of smart people. To make some shorts that are basically advertisements for my long formats and
Yeah.
link the long formats. And that seems to be getting me some new hits and viewers. It's more work,
Great.
but it's working. So
Oh my gosh! Just as we're talking that, I got another promoter thing. One of those bot accounts on the Twitch
Oh
side. I
my
had to just
gosh.
nuke. It's hilarious! Yay!
I get those a lot too.
Yeah, but
Um,
folks, I do want to pitch in for Sam, folks, real quick. She has actually helped our family. I need to get with you soon about my
we need to
granddad
start to
stuff.
research on your grandpa.
Yeah, but she has looked, and probably even somebody else famous in my family, but possibly. But the look, she interviewed my mother-in-law. If you've not watched that, please go
It's
watch
so
that.
good.
It was you fell in love with her. She's
She's
still
a doll. I
looks
love her.
Well, she's 90 now, and she was served a year in the Korean era back then as a in that I think the Army Air Force was it or
Yeah,
she-
no, it was
yeah.
Air Force. It was straight up
Air
Air Force
Force.
by that point.
Yeah. So, folks, that was such and I've heard good things from people that read
Tom's
it that were
dad is a
inspired by it.
doll. I love Tom's daddy. He's one of my veterans now too.
Absolutely.
Yes, and
Well-
I still got to get him what you sent me and
Yeah.
figure out a way for him to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And folks, I tell you, even more personal, folks, there are 2 episodes that Sam did with the Mrs. and me about one of her family members, and I've got the book here. Wham
Yeah,
Bam.
so-
Thank you, ma'am. Crew.
Here, while you look it up, I'll tell. So when I was interviewing his mother-in-law, she mentioned that the reason why she joined the military was a cousin of hers who was a POW in World War II, but she didn't know much about him and she would like to know more. And I'm like, okay, well, tell me his name. The name was unique enough that I thought I could find something. I found more than I've ever found. I found tons of information on this very incredible service member. And in addition, I found out that his brother was also in the 101st and got a Bronze Star, I believe.
I believe so. Yeah.
Anyway, so POW, this is a family that's really done a lot for our country. And it was so I realized I couldn't just do what I normally do, which is send them a document with some links and an outline and some photos. So I did something different and I put together a whole presentation for them.
Yes.
Because the
And
story
that's all-
just needed to be told.
And it's on Sam's channel, folks. And I tell you, it was a famous story. It led to one of the first war crimes trials. I mean, Forrest survived, made it back along with 2 of the other crew members. But Sam summarizes that in the 2-part stream with the Mrs. and me, and it's been documented in a book, The Last Mission of the Wham Bam Boys, written by Gregory A. Freeman. Sam sent us a copy of the book. I'm going to be reading that very soon. And if you like your history, if you like your World War II, that's definitely something to do, to look back at those episodes. Those were really emotional and really hard-hitting episodes. And so check her channel out, support her with that. Because like you said, every veteran has a story.
Every veteran has a story and every story matters. Too many of our service members and their families think that their story or sacrifice isn't significant, and that's a load of bull.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. Dude, Tom's dad was like, oh, I don't have much of a story, but sure, I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
He had some great stories, and there was something he told me off the record that I'm sitting there going, that rewrites the history books a little bit.
My mother-in-law, I've
I
never
think
heard
I know exactly what you were saying.
Yeah. Well, my mother-in-law, I talked to her after that last week, and I'm like, She was so happy with that. She's like, I felt nervous. But I'm like, she talked to you about stuff I didn't even know about.
Oh,
And that was
yeah.
really, really cool. And even the missus didn't know about.
Well, and that's the
So,
thing I've noticed the more I was talking to my husband and his friends and have been in the military community. Service members don't think they have a story, but once you get them talking, they have stories that they've forgotten.
yes.
And
But,
they
mhm,
I Raymond, you introduced me to,
right.
he didn't think he had much of a story. Sure enough, this guy served in West Germany and had to go through East Germany to get to West Berlin for a training exercise during the height of the Cold War, doing cryptoanalysis.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
Wow.
heck yeah, that guy experienced history.
Yep.
And he's like,
That-
"Oh, I didn't do anything." I'm like, yeah, you did."
That's too. So check out all these great people's channels. Let me also bring Jeff back up here. There is Jeff's YouTube channel link, of course, and this is the make sure you subscribe to him, catch up with him. This is the first part of the interview with he and I talking, and like we said, we're going to reschedule that at some part in the future. Of course, Mrs. will be live tomorrow afternoon to do another watch party. So check that announcement out on Twitter, and then you can get the link through the DMs and to the Cosme Room for that. Also, Monday the Wednesday, and then on Friday at 10 a.m. Swing by, get your daily dose of positivity for her. As far as I go, sports is on hiatus for a couple weeks through April. Mrs. and I will be live at 8 o'clock on Wednesday night. Next week will probably be a lighter week. Actually, next Thursday and Friday, we're appearing on different channels. Watch us on track.
Doing divas.
I'll talk to you later. We might have to aim for the 24th, but I got to check with the missus. So,
Just a simple question, Dadman.
yeah, what's up?
Can you cross play Fortnite on a Switch?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I play. That's what
I've
Mark.
done it
One of the
before,
greatest. Yeah. I've done it with Mark in a campground at 1 o'clock in the morning. I finally killed one.
Someone. I
Yeah.
killed someone. Yeah.
Yeah, screaming out loud, and Missus like, "Shut up! You're too
Well,
loud."
and where do you download that game from for Switch?
Epic. It's the same place.
Okay.
You
Well,
go
if you're
to
on the
Epic,
Switch, I think you just search for Fortnite on the
Yeah.
Switch.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in
think
the
it goes to
Switch
Epic.
store or whatever.
Yeah.
I just picked up a
Nintendo
used Switch, so
Yeah.
I'm looking to add that maybe to it, and
It's free,
also
yeah.
to add if anybody has a cartridge they want to sell for Super Mario Kart 8, that'd be great.
Yeah. Well, one thing, Jess said switch from the shop, and hey, Brian said it's on the eShop.
Cool.
By the way, next Thursday, like Wade came through earlier, we'll be guesting on his for a little bit, probably 5 o'clock on Thursday. This is scheduled to be on a channel, Daramuth. Looking for Twitter for that on Thursday at 7. I'll be on Daramuth's channel Friday at 8 on the 17th. So then next week might be a lightweight schedule week on my channel, but Wednesday with the missus, Saturday with this stream again. No, you know what? No stream next Saturday night. Sorry, folks, because Ang and I are going out of town. We're going back to Universal. So,
Oh, okay.
Oh, are
yeah.
you?
yeah,
Have
we
fun,
are
yeah.
Are you going to Epic or regular?
regular. Regular.
What time you gonna think you're gonna be there?
Not
Don't
sure.
say it online.
Not
I'm
sure.
not asking to say it
Oh,
online, but I want
people,
to tell
respect.
me later.
We'll have to
Dadman,
see.
what's your address?
Yeah,
Can I have your
I'll give
social
you mine.
security number too while I'm
It's
at it?
Mockingbird Lane.
that's all good. Yes, I know. I gotta get back in Mario Kart. I was talking to Ang about playing a game, Smash Brothers. This Mario movie brought out. They got Mr. Game and Watch and Rob, the robot. The characters I played in Smash Brothers. So it was a great movie. But well, we made it out almost 2 hours 40 minutes, folks. I appreciate my crew that's not here, Erica and Raph. Love her, miss her. I know it's late in Germany. Anna over in the UK. I know it's really late there. We miss you, both of you. Mrs. is kind of resting and working tonight, so missed her being here. But I think outside that, we had everybody here. We had Jeff. It seems like I'm missing somebody. because I think we have 9 in the group. So I know we got Anna, Jeff, or I'll say Anna, Erica, Mrs. Miss, West Cagle. So all you guys, if hopefully y'all watch it, we love you guys too, even if you couldn't make it tonight on the panel. Thank you for Tom, Sam, and Mark, and for Alaska Jeff again.
Yep.
And everybody, I'm not going to make y'all wait around 50 seconds to get to 240. So I will say good night to everybody. Have a pleasant night and a great day tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.
See you
Bye.
later, guys.